I'm wanting to call off my wedding because my fiance is a control freak.
Do it.
Background. I'm 32. She's 34. We're Catholic. She has 3 kids from a previous marriage. We were dating for about 8 months, then decided to get engaged because things were going well. 8 months to engagement is somewhat quick.
Fast.
I felt like she was my person. She felt the same. I did great with the kids. We were both only getting older. We're supposed to get married in December, but I don't want to anymore. By the way, this comes from Yep, You Got Me on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I moved in about a month ago to save money in name of trying to pay off as much debt before the wedding so we can buy a house soon after. This is when everything changed. I feel for the worse. She instantly wanted a joint bank account. I didn't want to because I felt it'd turn into a control situation, and it has.
Oh, no.
When I told her I didn't want to, she said, well, maybe we shouldn't be getting married.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Maybe. She controls every bit of the money and everything else down to what I eat. You're hungry? Why don't you eat me? Is that not enough?
Yum. Yum.
Get down.
Yep.
Good boy.
You like duck sauce? Duck down and get you some.
I have to ask to spend $4 on medicine when I'm fighting a sinus infection.
Grow up. Eat a daffodil.
Eat a daffodil, dude. We aren't hurting for money. I make $75K after taxes. Backstory on my health. I have ulcerative colitis since I was 20. Had my colon removed when I was 25. I literally have to eat more than I used to because I don't absorb everything like a normal person.
Bro, who was bro? Me?
That's true.
Jeez.
Golly.
She gets mad at how much I eat. I have to sneak food at work. I've tried to explain it to her, and so has her mom, but she doesn't get it still. She tells me I have to work at least 70 hours a week, Monday through Friday, and what I can on Saturday when we don't have the kids, so we have extra. So she's like, get the frickin' work.
Yikes.
Get the frickin' work. I don't spend money on anything. I use my personal money so I have the amount of food I need. This was a fight to get what food I do have for work. Why don't you just take back the bank account? Take back some power.
Yeah.
Say no.
Yep.
Come on.
Invest everything into a CD that's locked for 10 years and then be like, you want more money? Here you go.
Well, I guess it's and also it's so challenging because you're like you're newly married and everything.
Yeah.
You're like, I want to like be a good partner and be together, but it's like, but you wilding out.
Yeah,
So
dude.
what do I do?
I think it's finally gotten to that point where Opie's like, wait, this isn't normal.
Yeah. Mhm.
This was a fight to get what food I do have for work. Proper nutrition and rest, which if I want to sleep in, I get fussed, are super important due to my health.
Mm-hmm.
I mistakenly take something that was for the kids. I get in big trouble, even if it just costs $1.
Daddy needs to eat.
Or even if I didn't take some leftovers to work that I try to leave for others so I'm not greedy. I get blamed for wasting food even though she didn't tell me to take it and has yelled at me for taking too much. So dang if I do, damned if I don't, right? She shows little to no affection. I work 12 hours on my short days, around 15 on my long days. I only have 1 or 2 short days a week. I'd like to feel wanted and desired when I come home. He wants to use that long days of his
And extend it.
and extend it. that look.
You get nothing.
But I feel nothing. I don't ever get a hug, a kiss, or any kind of excitement when I get home after a long day. Some of the long days mean I don't see her for 2 to 3 days at a time. There's no sort of excitement. Just what more can you do around the house? Hell, I've even got in trouble for sitting down for 10 minutes when I get home one day because I need to use my time better. I take care of everything around the house, such as yard work, home repairs, doing everything else when no one feels like it. Heaven forbid me if I do one thing after a long day. Getting help from the kids is a chore. I'm feeling used And much like I'm just here to give money. Do as much as I can, and if I bring something up, it gets turned back on me. Am I crazy for not wanting to go through with this? We already had a talk about how I can't live like this, and it was good for a couple of days. Then back to the regularly scheduled program. I don't feel like anything will ever change, ever. When we had the talk, she straightened up, which is easy for her to do with the double spine a bit. But over the next few days, she made jokes about what I brought up. So I feel like it meant nothing to her at all. I don't know what to do.
I do.
What? Throw that back out?
Run away.
Run away.
Run away.
Sorry, run away. And we got another update. And actually, I want to pause right here and read Irish Gigs and kind of get like a feel from chat, feel from the comments, feel from you guys. Irish Gigs, people treat you the way you allow yourself to be treated. Next time she beaches at you about food, take her off your bank account. Tell her this is the result of her actions and run. What do we think about that, y'all?
I like the philosophy here of like actions have direct consequences, where it's like, hey, you do this crazy manipulative controlling thing again, then Y happens, consequence happens. But I think we're already at the point where OP can rather just go and be like, hey, listen, here's the like the laundry list of things that you've done to me. Ergo, it's his own account, right? Like,
yeah. I think something, so everyone's just, Nicole H says, pre-divorce, Artemis Fain says, just leave her. I think in a situation like this, when you have a partner that's so controlling, and when you ask for what you need, and the partner, eases out for a day, and then just starts controlling again, I think the only thing that can reset a dynamic, if you're trying to save any kind of dynamic, is separation, right? Like, I think she needs to know that you're not a bank account. So like cut her off and make her know what it looks like to like, I guess, live maybe with her own resources. And I think you need to understand what it looks like for you to live for yourself, because I think you've only ever lived through her eyes of what you need to do for her and your family. And you've never known what it looks like to live for you. So I think like separation, therapy, and then potentially like you might need a divorce. You might like this is deep rooted. I don't know if this is something that is going to change easily. But yeah, I'm curious what if you guys have anything to add there.
I feel like OP literally cannot operate as like a functioning human properly because of the way, because he's literally like,
he's being suffocated.
I can't even like get food to nourish myself to work these 70-hour work weeks you're demanding.
He literally makes no decisions for himself. He literally makes no decisions for himself, and he's like, why am I so unhappy? But he makes no decisions. Of course he's going to be unhappy.
Yeah.
He is completely subjugated to this woman's will.
Yeah.
Clark says it's not easy to leave. Stuff like this happens slowly. It feels normal eventually. And you know what's great about places like Reddit is, yes, agreed. Often people get caught in these terrible situations because they don't advocate for themselves when the initial transgression happens. And then these transgressions build up and build up and build up. And then they're 5 years into a relationship being like, how did I get into something this abusive? How did I get into a place where I forgot how I deserve to be treated? Completely agree. But I think something that's beautiful about Reddit, something that's beautiful about writing in general, when you just put it out all in front of yourself and the world, is finally maybe you get those rose-colored glasses off, and then that's where the real work can start, right? And I think this is what OP is doing right here, is the first step towards real work. Sassy Sin says, does OP realize he's being abused? I think probably realizing it right now.
And that's on period.
That's on period. But we got another update.
Let's go.
We had an additional talk. Oh, and some of y'all stated that she will say what I want to hear. And then it goes back to the same old crap. And you were 100% right.
Boom.
I've been playing the game and seeing her responses on things. She flips the responses to seemingly being different than they were when she really is just saying the same thing. For example, I explained that I was still hungry after dinner, and she said, word for word, I think you should just focus on not being hungry. Then you won't want to eat. Did you ever think about that?
Yeah, stop being so fat and
Do you ever think
that.
about you should just manifest food into your stomach with your telepathic food creating thought waves? Have you ever thought about
Your attitude is your reality. You know?
It's like, my attitude is I'm starving.
Just meditate abundance. You know, I think if you just meditate on abundance, if you manifest abundance, an abundance in your belly, you will not be at all.
If I can meditate a full body O, can I not meditate a full stomach?
Oh,
It's possible. It's stoppable. It's possible. It's possible. So I just grabbed a water and went about my business. Man needs to just eat, bro.
Please.
F this girl.
Yes.
Just eat. He says, like, are you kidding me internally? But he just has a water and doesn't eat. Like, she's starving him.
Really bad. Really, 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 really bad.
Right after we had the discussion about my body and my condition. Anyway, I've got a plan together. I won't be able to enact this plan till Friday next week. The car we got is in both of our names, but I'm only on the loan as a cosigner. So I'm getting a rental because I can afford it when some psycho isn't corn rolling my money. I've never heard that phrase.
Roll the corn.
Roll that corn. And I'm loading everything I can in there into the car and heading out of town while she's at work. I'll be going to my parents in the next state over. She won't be able to find me, which is good. I'm so getting a new phone and number before I head out of town. I've got my direct deposit changed, new bank account, and while I'm at work, I'm calling to get her off my credit card and everything. I'm waiting for the payment to post to the card from our joint account, well, sometime next week, so I'm not stuck with the balance that's on there. I'm also pulling what money is rightfully mine out of the account before I leave and then taking my name off of it. There's a significant amount in there. I'm cutting my losses on what I've already paid towards the wedding and everything else. I don't want that money to taint my new money. I'm expecting her to freak the heck out and blow my phone up, but I don't care.
There we go.
Just getting my plan together has been so liberating. On my way to my parents, I'm meeting a really good friend of mine who's been here through this whole process. I'm meeting them for lunch. Then on to my parents. I haven't even told my parents yet, so they don't know. I've got all these crazy ideas of things I want to do and will finally be able to do once I'm out, and it feels so dang good. I can't wait. I don't know if I'm more anxious to get back to who I was or more anxious about her reaction. Either way, I don't care. I have to go. So now OP has a plan.
Yes.
He's exiting the relationship.
Yes.
And we do have another update.
Yes. Baby.
So what do we think about this plan? Are any of these kids his?
they're not married yet.
This is true. They are not.
Yeah, she has
married yet.
3 kids from a previous marriage.
Aha.
We're dating 8 months and we got engaged. So
Yes.
these 3 kids are not his, to be clear.
Perfect. I am seeing, we talked about earlier about, there's the rose tinted glasses and everything. The glasses have come off, and now he is seeing everything for what it is. And not only is he seeing it, he's acting on it and standing on business and putting himself in a position to live a fruitful life once again.
And that is hard. Something
Yes.
I was talking to a friend who's trying to exit an abusive relationship right now, right? And we're talking about this idea of like, you don't often find yourself in an abusive relationship because everything is bad, Like when you look at that relationship, there's a reason you stayed in it, right? There's comfort. There is love. You might actually really love that person, but that's not what makes it abusive. And abusive is the polarity of the love with that evil, that control, that person or that side of the person that wants to hurt. And with OP leaving, like there's a reason that he's there. It's not like all bad. There probably is a reason that he has stayed in that relationship so long. So I just want to like laud OP, because when you leave a situation like this, you're not only leaving all of the bad and hard stuff, you're also leaving all of the good stuff, the stuff that makes you feel safe, the stuff of like, maybe it feels good to be a stepdad to these 3 kids. Like this is like, maybe that's something that he enjoys and feels a lot of purpose out of, right? And I really think like what we like need to laud OP for and recognize is like, it is hard to leave an abusive relationship because you're leaving some parts that are actually good, which is like it's kind of like a weird paradox of abuse.
Totally. I mean, even the bad stuff can feel like quote unquote comfortable or quote unquote normal, and just leaving, big change. Humans are often, averse to big changes. So not only is some of the good stuff maybe like the normal and the comfort zone, but even the abusive parts and negative parts can be that. So very, very, very much should be applauded for taking his life into his own hands and doing the dang thing. Freaking beautiful to see.
And I also recognize that is not always the case. Nikki Wolf says, "No, Sam, I stayed out of fear of what he'd do when I left. I went into hiding until he was served with the restraining order and 3-day eviction notice. I had 2 male friends sleeping on my couch for months." You're totally right, Nikki Wolf.
Safety always first.
Yeah, safety always first. And obviously not every situation is an absolute. I think, some people stay out of comfort. Some people stay out of fear. People are not a monolith. And Nikki, that is a wonderful reminder. So thank you for sharing your take.
1000%.
But
we got
an update.
Oh God.
So, update 2. A few have already asked for updates. So here goes something. All good news.
Oh.
Okay. So I am out and free, and I feel great.
Woo!
I left early in the morning with as much stuff as I could. I went to the next town over and sat in the parking lot waiting for the rental place to open so she wouldn't have the chance of browsing around town before work and find me. Before I got the rental, I got all my money out as well. After getting the rental, I went back to the house, got more stuff. She had, I guess, gotten the hint and locked me out of the house, but I got all the important expensive stuff, so that's good. I went back to the bank and got a printout of all the transactions from the joint account, and I was immediately pissed off. I had asked for medicine, but there were so many Amazon charges, going out to eat, transfer the money to different accounts and everything, but I had to ask to spend $4 on medicine for a sinus infection. So she's spending all this money every which way, but he had to ask for $4. It looks like she was transferring money, so I couldn't track it all. I gave the printout to a friend so she can get me a spreadsheet together to track everything easier. While driving down to my parents, 4 hours from where I live, I was able to get all my passwords to every account, reset, and removed her as an authorized user on everything.
Boom.
Also, before leaving, I got a new account/debit card and switched all that over. After meeting with my parents, I went to an old friend's, someone I've known for 10 plus years, but hadn't seen in 2. Her mom made me a heck of a meal fit for a king. We later went axe throwing and had a good time. I spent the night there, and her mom made me a really good breakfast. Her family is such a good family, and they consider me a son, so they were happy to have me over. Her mom asked if I just need a key to the house. This morning, I drove back to my parents, and we went to the flea market, and I was able to spend money on whatever I felt like.
Yes.
And it felt so good. This is the life I want to live, not a life constrained by a crazy person. I feel great. I'm doing great. Leading up to leaving, I was getting super anxious about it and having trouble sleeping. Hell, I saw my ex Monday and some Tuesday, but because of my schedule, didn't see her for 3 days. No, I miss you. No, nothing. Just messages asking me to do things. Also, on the way down, she didn't try to contact me at all. I left Messenger open and will until everything is buttoned up, but everyone else is blocked on everything. She did try to contact my parents, but they didn't answer, thankfully.
Good.
I've got quite the road ahead of me to get where I want to, but it'll be an easier road to travel than what I was doing. I've already contacted a flight school and will be enrolling to get my private pilot's license in the next few months.
I love how he's literally spreading his wings and learning to fly
Literally.
metaphorically and literally.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Wow.
That's beautiful. And also, just a short tangent. If you're feeling like down or sad or you need a new beginning, learn a new skill. And like private pilot license, that's expensive. But there's plenty of stuff that you can pick up and learn that is free and easy to get a hold of the materials. All you need is YouTube. YouTube can teach you so much.
YouTube University, baby.
YouTube University, learn to knit, learn to do like yoga, like that. There is nothing that is more of a cure for a soul than learning something new. And I think OP has gone into that fully.
I love it.
I can't wait. It's been a huge dream of mine since I was little. And if it's been a huge dream of yours to spend time with us, you should join us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Also, you can join us on Facebook. Just tap our profile. There's another relevant update. But, John, anything to add on this man's journey?
I mean, this is what we love to see. This is a guy who realized he was being controlled to a insane degree.
Insane.
And, was able to thankfully see it for what it was, create a plan for himself and get out of there. And now he is absolutely reaping the rewards. And I think that he has the all the tools and mindset to build an amazing, fruitful life for himself. And I can't remember who commented it. But somebody said, he's going to get super rich and she's going to be freaking pissed. And I'm like, yeah, he's going to be like a freaking rich, sexy plane pilot. And he's like, sorry, I'm going to be jetting off to Greece. Sorry, babes, I can't respond to you anymore because I got to visit my fat stacks of offshore accounts. That's me as
a pilot. Yeah. Dude, I honestly think that's what happens when you live your best, most authentic life is usually good stuff. Like the universe wants you to be happy.
Oh yeah.
So go out and freaking do stuff.
Go get it, baby.
But we got a little bit more of this story, so we're going to close out with that. So this has been the best thing I've ever done for myself and my well-being. Looking forward to see where things go and where I can take it. Thank you guys again for the sound advice. Only thing I have left to button up is the vehicle we bought, but I ran out of time. I've got a meeting with a lawyer next week to get it taken care of. Much love to y'all. But yeah, that's that story. But we got another story for y'all coming fresh off the press.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, I really love how OP is just investing in their interest in future.
Yeah, I think this is exactly what you should do, getting out of a horrendous relationship like the one that OP is in. He's investing in himself. He's literally just leveling up so much. It is a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah,
Indeed.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yes.
Let's hit it.
Let's get it.
Another story for you in this episode.
My fiance's unstable friend refuses to wear a wig to our wedding. She got hysterical.
When will you wear the wigs?
Will you wear wigs? My boyfriend, now my fiance, asked me to marry him 2 months ago. To give a little background, I met him at a farmer's market when I was 18 and he was 26. We are now 24 female and 32 male. We've been together for a little bit over 5 years, and I'm very happy with him. By the way, this comes from user throwaway09 account on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, now on to the story. My fiance's friend Brittany has been friends with him since they were in elementary school. Throughout our early dating days, I expressed I was not a fan of this woman. There are many reasons as to why, such as us not having common interests and absolutely polar opposite moral codes, but the main one was her interest in embarrassing me and my fiancé, possibly because she likes him. When we first started to go on dates, she had shown up and tried to invite herself to the date because he had told their mutual friend group chat where he was taking me. She then decided that she would go to the same restaurant and had tried to make a scene about him cheating on her and that she was heartbroken. Gross! It escalated very quickly, and it ended with me asking the manager to get her trust passed, as she was delusional and I nor my date wanted her around. This sort of situation happened 3 more times?
That's literally a strikeout.
Dude. Even going as far as showing up to his grandparents' house to stop me from meeting his family. At that point, I made it clear to him that if anything like that were to happen again, I would be out of there, which he completely understood and agreed with me wholeheartedly. He convinced his friend group to go low communication with Brittany because she was acting weird around him, and they all understood and disagreed with her actions. He had extremely low contact after that point, and I learned years later that she had gotten major therapy, even checked herself into a mental hospital, and went on medication to stop these absolutely unhinged personality traits. Around 4 years later, they reconnected through a mutual friend's birthday party we were all at, and she genuinely seemed like she had changed personality-wise from the person I had met 5-ish years ago. We still didn't agree on most things, but she apologized for the way she had acted previously and owned up to all the BS she tried to pull with him. So I just keep my guard up, but encourage my fiancé to make friends with her again. I am not friends with her, but I am friendly towards her. Skipping to now, I have been planning this wedding basically since I was born, over-exaggerating, but it has been in my thoughts since I was a young child. The wedding will not happen for another 2 years. The theme is supposed to be similar to a D&D style fantasy?
That sounds cool.
Yeah, a Renaissance wedding with blue, orange, and red as the basic color scheme.
That's sick.
So, most of the wedding would be held outside at a local state park, but part of it would be held inside. Specifically, the cake and food would be cut and served inside, as well as some of the guest photos. This is the important part. I have a personal friend, Bree, 28 female, who does professional pictures at Renaissance festivals across the U.S. Her job is to drive around the country to Ren fairs and take pictures for certain venues. It's a very cool job, and I love seeing the pictures. Yeah, what a cool niche job to have.
What do you do for work?
Renaissance fair photographer.
That's it. I just go around the U.S. and I do Ren fairs and
Super
LARPing
cool.
events.
However, she does editing for some of the venues with a green screen to make it look more aesthetic or to totally change the scenery behind the people in the photo. For example, she showed me mock-ups for me in the past showing silly people in costumes being chased by goblins and trolls, a dragon breathing fire behind a party of knights, and even a garden of fairy lights with fairies flying through it, etc. It's silly stuff and is for people to have fun with. My idea was to incorporate this into my wedding.
Fun wedding for sure.
The guests would choose whatever background they'd like from a catalog that my friend and I put together, and Bree or her teammate would take pictures of them throughout the day. These pictures would be uploaded electronically and then be edited by her after the wedding. These were mandatory for all guests that wanted to participate, so I could use the pictures for postcards and scrapbooking. It's my hobby. The people who wanted to take part in this activity would have to check a box on the Save the Date form that I sent out. My assumption is that most guests would be doing this, as most of the people that I invited are extremely rambunctious and love activities involving being silly. Where's my invite, OP? What the heck?
We're just some silly little guys.
Couple silly gooses over here looking for their invites to your cool Renaissance wedding.
I want to have goblins chasing me. I mean, I'm the size of a goblin.
Goblins chase you around all the time anyway.
Yeah, so that sounds fun. This sounds very fun.
I do want to make it clear that these would not be the only pictures taken at the wedding. There would still be normal pictures taken of the wedding itself, as well as photos that would likely be framed and used as decorations that would have no green screens of my husband and I or the wedding party. Just normal photos. A few days after he had proposed, my fiance asked me if I'd feel comfortable with him inviting Brittany to the wedding as a groomswoman. Honestly, I was fine with it. Until the topic of her hair came up. In the year or so that he had reconnected, she cut and dyed her hair a lime green with a cool undertone and highlights. I honestly really like it, and it suits her facial structure extremely well. However, I was worried about the green screen and her hair, so I invited her to my friend's home a while later to see if we could use the screen and if her hair would blend with it. Unfortunately, it did. In the pictures, you could see a major glitch with every background we tried because of her hair. I asked my friend if there was a way to edit around it, and she said there was, but it would be an extra amount of money because it would be way, way more time consuming to go through and possibly edit multiple photos of her with groups of people and herself so that the the picture wouldn't be glitchy. I'm very against this as our budget has to be semi-perfect. We're accounting for accidents and issues, but not extra money to my friend's business because of one woman's choice of dyeing her hair close to the green screen color. While I do love her hair, I asked if she would wear a wig to the wedding so that she could still be included in the green screen pictures. Even offered to get it professionally done, and I'd pay for that. This is when she became very angry with me. To sum up what she said, her being asked to wear a wig was basically me saying I wanted her to cover herself, quote, like in quotes.
Okay.
Cover up her, quote, self. That her hair was an expression of herself and that she loved it. I told her that I loved it as well, but in order for her to be included, she would need to wear a wig, as the green in her hair can't be covered up via a hat or some other headwear. She has been saying that I just don't want to include her in the wedding.
Asking her to change her hair was one thing, but like telling her like, hey, there's a green screen. It's for fun, silly photos. I was like, this is the point in. Green screen and your hair don't match. You can't be in any of those photos. That sucks. There's two. I would have gone 2 routes. Route 1, wear a wig. Route 2, change your hair, which is the worst option. I don't want to change anyone's hair or style. That's your style. Route 3 is if we do this, you won't be in any of those fun photos. But I want you at the wedding.
Well, now the problem is that it's going from like Britney's turning it into a thing where, oh, this is just because you don't want me at the wedding.
No, that's exactly.
And it's like, no.
Well, I think it's
come
because
on.
I think OP just like, you have to wear a wig, not giving her the options.
Well,
of like,
no, they compromised. Here, there's a compromise right here. Let's keep reading. As a compromise against the wig, I proposed that she gets more pictures of her having fun taken at the wedding itself instead of the green screen. She didn't like this idea because she claims it isn't fair that all the other guests get to be put in a fun picture and she's the only one not allowed. Though I sort of agree with her, it isn't to the fault of my own. So I offered that she paid for the extra editing costs it would be to take and edit more of her pictures. At first, she was fine with the idea, until I mentioned that the extra editing would cost around $100 for just a single picture to be taken and edited by my friend, and the final price depended on how many photos she ended up in on the green screen. Then she declined the offer and tried to throw it in my face that Bree's prices were outrageous. I disagreed with her sentiment about the prices, and I haven't spoken to her since then. I mean, $100 for one photo is pretty outrageous.
that's pretty crazy.
But I feel like there's a more elegant solution here, and we're just not seeing it. I don't even know what it is. I feel like within context, the wig is a acceptable compromise because she's not telling you to get the wig because your hair is too green and she doesn't
It just
like
won't
it.
match.
She's trying to help you be a part of this.
That's the thing that OP is trying to say. I want you involved.
Yeah.
I know it's unfair. I know it sucks, but this is the reality of things. There is a green screen.
Yes.
Nobody wants to pay extra money, but that's the reality of things. You have cool hair. It just doesn't match with the green screen. Those are the only solutions. Either A, you don't get in the fun. B, you change your hair. C, you wear a wig.
Yeah.
That's final.
Or you glitch out the photo and then it looks bad.
You can't get upset. This is not your wedding.
Throughout this entire ordeal, my fiance has been on my side, but he has been upset over her possibly not being there. While he does agree with me about not wanting to pay more for just her, as well as the fact that she's being overdramatic, he has sympathy for her being the only person left out of this choice activity. While I also have sympathy, I just don't see an alternative here. We can't use a blue screen over a green screen because the colors of the wedding are blue, red, and orange. And I don't wish to pay for a new screen for my friend's business just because of one person. And the alternatives I have come up with, she has shot down. So my final decision was to ask him to disinvite her from the wedding to not create further drama if she does not want to wear a wig. Oh, Lord, you just created more drama.
You created so much more drama.
Would you look at that?
Why would you, like...
That's a horrible idea. Let's keep going. After long talks between us, he agreed with me and sent her a message that she would be disinvited entirely and would be welcome to celebrate with just us after our honeymoon had ended. They met up soon afterwards, and he stayed firm on the matter, despite her crying and still refusing to do anything to correct her hair.
I don't like that you have to change somebody's hair. Again, that's their hair, that's their style. You did that, great. I don't like what Brittany's doing here, where she's like, if I'm going to the wedding, you have to change everything about for me. The fact that she's like very like self-centered, like, oh, you're not doing this because of me.
They're not asking you to undye your
If someone
hair.
told me to chop up my hair because you won't be in any photos, I won't be in any photos. That sucks.
Or that, yeah, or
That
just
sucks.
live with that.
And that's what I don't
Yeah.
understand what Brittany's like getting. Like, this is not at her.
I
and
don't
I'm
know.
just
This
like,
might be
"Ah,
a
this
little
is really dumb. But
This might be a little quirk of her
but
personality.
doing the uninviting, I do not
Yeah,
like.
uninviting. I mean, I guess they're trying to save like any sort of
Drama.
secondary drama from her just being around the people.
Use was like, this is going to be a huge catalyst for drama.
But it's not going to be at the wedding, at least. There's going to be drama in your life, just not at your wedding. Brittany still believes that me asking her to do this is because of some power imbalance and that I just want to bully her, which I don't think I'm doing. She has a year to think it over. I can tell the situation bothers him, though, and I've addressed it a few times. All of the times that I have, he says it's for the best, as she would just ruin the photo she was in with the green screen and could cost us to delete hundreds of pictures purely based on her actions. I agree, but it still bothers me that I'm doing something wrong, especially since after this incident, her mom and dad have reached out to me to scold me for abusing my power against their daughter on one of the biggest parties she's ever been invited to. How are they scolding you? Like, one of the biggest parties she's been invited to? Hello, it's your wedding.
Well, because guess what? They only heard her side of the story, and they're only going to take her side of the story. I guarantee it.
This is such a simple little
She
thing.
won't let me to her wedding because she wants me to change my hair. She won't let me be.
Well, take the green screen photos.
That's and but she's
Literally.
being singled out, and she's like, "Well, if I'm being singled out, then
Look, if you just don't take the green screen photos, which honestly, I think Bree needs to step in and like provide the solution, which is don't be in the green screen photos and get added into them later. Even my friends are split on the issue, all of them having sympathy for her, but some of them saying that I'm an a-hole because I won't just let her come to the wedding and have someone to block her from taking any pictures with the green screen. And just to make sure the record is straight, I am not trying to force her to change her hair in any way. I don't want her to dye it differently, nor would I expect her to. I purely just want a non-green wig to be put on her head for the wedding, and then she can remove it afterwards.
that's a hard ask. You're coming to my wedding, you got to wear this wig so you can be at the wedding.
It's not
Like,
even just to be the wedding, it was just to take the photos.
I know, but I
But
get
at
it.
this point now, it's like, because I don't trust you not to take the photos. I would normally say that she could remove it after the green screen portion, but I'm still working out if I'm going to let it stay up for the entire day of the wedding, or if I'm going to hold other activities for everyone and have Bree close the photo stuff down. Again, the wedding isn't for another 2 years, so I'm able to think it over for at least a year. I don't know. Am I the a-hole? I think with that detail of the wedding being in 2 years, you're definitely not the a-hole. You've given them 2 years to do
also
anything about
roots,
it.
The roots come in,
But-
the hair changes.
But wait a minute, you are the a-hole for uninviting this person to your wedding 2 years in advance.
I don't think that, the reason
That
for
was
uninviting was
unnecessary.
very unnecessary. I guess in the moment, she's like, I don't want to change my hair. But again, 2 years is a very long time where the hair color, roots will change. She'll change her hair color. It does happen.
Yeah, everyone's being extra in this story.
This is very extra.
Like,
That's
OP,
a good,
you were extra for uninviting your sister-in-law. Brittany is being a little extra for making this a thing where it's like, this is about power dynamics and you just want to bully me. Like, you're being extra.
It's gross. It's really gross, and this is, I don't know why this like blew up to this proportion when it shouldn't have. I think both parties are a-holes here. Like, the uninviting was dumb. That's
Dude, people can like change a lot in 2 years. To uninvite her because you're like, I don't want her ruining the green screen photos because I know she'll try to do it. It's like,
the fact that
Dude.
you thought, oh, if I
Whatever.
uninvite her now, there's going to be no drama.
well, let's get into the update and figure out what the heck
I
happened.
want to see what the drama is now.
I honestly didn't think I'd post an update at all this year because I mostly got the confirmation I needed to know I was mostly correct in my assumption that she'd cause more drama at the wedding than necessary, and that I'd be correct in that we'd be okay to disinvite her. I was trying to be detailed in that post, but in this one I'm going to be a little less detailed. Basically, 3 days ago, I was sent my post on Messenger from Brittany. She's a notorious Reddit lurker, apparently, and saw it a few hours after it was posted. It didn't even have to get multiple upvotes because she just reads the ones available on the recent category. I told her I posted because I had a lot of inner conflict towards my involvement with my fiancé, choosing to disinvite her if she can't just make some form of sacrifice to not be in the green screen or wear a wig so she can be included. She got extremely mad at me, calling me names, threatened that I'd be sued for defamation, etc. She really hit him with a, I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna sue you. Anyway,
If it's your wedding, your rules. You can do whatever you want.
that is all that matters. This honestly just made me realize how little she actually changed. Of course, I showed my fiance and he was appalled at her actions. He said he was going to block her and did so that day, and so did I. Yesterday, I woke up to 43 missed calls from a number I did not recognize.
I wonder who.
It ended up being her, and a dozen voicemails claiming that I was stealing my fiance away from her again, that I had purposefully targeted her just for wanting to be included with everyone else, and so on. I do not know how she got my number, but I obviously blocked it. After that, I reported her to the police on the non-emergency line because I didn't know if I would be needing to fear for my safety. I'm really glad I did this.
Ah, that's a very big statement.
Brother! After my fiance had left for work, she showed up to our home and knocked on the door. I cracked a window near the door and asked what she wanted. She said while crying that I needed to let her in the house because it was her right to be with my fiance, not me. She started kicking the door, and I told her to knock it off. A quick clarifier for everyone in the story. If you heard me accidentally call Brittany the sister-in-law, I was wrong.
Not a sister-in-law.
Brittany's the friend. Immediately, I just started dialing the non-emergency police number for my nearest precinct because I already knew what was happening in that moment, and I was supposed to be clocking in for work on my computer at that exact moment. I texted my boss, and she excused my absence for the day as well. As I was doing this, I kept repeating, "Go away, I called the police, and I do not want you here. You are trespassing." She was saying all kinds of things that I do not wish to repeat here, but the lesser of the things that she said involved calling me a white racist pig. She is mixed race, and so am I. Saying that she was 8 months pregnant with my fiance's baby, and there's quite literally zero proof of this, including no baby bump, despite being a fairly thin woman. Screaming that she would take me to hell, trying to break my metal outside door, but instead hurting herself, and so on. Basically, she had a full-blown meltdown. The police came, saw that she was trying to break my door down, and immediately put her in cuffs and sat her down. She was claiming this was her house and that she'd lived there for 10 years, that I had broken in and locked her out, etc.
I think we dodged a bullet here by not inviting Brittany.
I think maybe you weren't the a-hole after all, not inviting this person to your wedding.
I mean, I still think it's an a-hole move.
I only thought it was an a-hole move because I somehow got it twisted in my head that she was the sister-in-law. If this is just a friend acting like this, absolutely not. You're not obligated to have this person at your wedding at all. I was operating from sister-in-law incorrectly.
The friend here, still, I mean, friend, family, whatever. It's 2 years out. A lot can happen, but this is some insane stuff that I heard.
Bottom line is, this is someone who has made it clear that she wants your fiance.
Yeah.
So this is not someone who should be at your wedding.
The therapy that Brittany did is gone to waste.
She might need a little more. Of course, because of her psychotic appearance, I was questioned, and once given the real story, as well as being able to provide proof that I was the owner of the home, she was taken to the police station. As far as I'm aware, she was booked for the night and was let go today. I did agree to a temporary no-contact order, and my fiancé and I are going to proceed with a permanent one. Her parents called after they heard she was put in a holding cell and apologized profusely. Apparently, Brittany had lied to them about the extent of her actions and downplayed a lot of it.
Not shocked.
Wow. On the exterior, she seemed fine and well-rounded, but mentally, she had snapped again from not taking her meds for a year. She never told her parents this and just acted normally until one of her triggers came back. My fiancé. No, he didn't do anything wrong. She just had a major trigger when it came to him because of a deeply obsessive personality disorder. By the way, you can watch us live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
We won't disinvite you.
We've made it clear. I think you have saved your wedding by not inviting this person. If this person is obsessed with your fiancé, don't invite them to your wedding.
Yeah.
Even if they are back on medication, if your fiance is quite literally a trigger for this person's bad behavior.
The point stands. I'm not inviting you. Like, I felt bad in the beginning, but now I'm like, whoa.
I think that's all that needs to be said.
With all the threats and everything you did,
Yeah.
restraining order.
No, thank you. So, I wasn't trying to air her dirty laundry about her medical history the last post, but she was diagnosed with BPD and a large handful of disorders caused by trauma she had endured in her childhood from her great-grandfather. She's an unhealthy person, and I regret even allowing her to have the notion that we had forgiven her for her past. I'm pretty shaken from this ordeal, and I can't believe this was all because of a goddamn green screen and some pictures that were supposed to be just treated as a silly holiday card for my foreseeable future. This is making me rethink the idea altogether, to be completely honest. Maybe I'll just rent an adult bouncy house because that seems more fun than green screen professional photography. Anyway, that's the update. Thanks for reaching out and the advice I was given in the last post.
That sucks because now you have that notion of doing the green screen. You're going to connect it to Brittany. Again, at the end of the day, it is your wedding. You can do whatever you want.
Don't let Brittany win.
If you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it.
Don't listen to this guy. Keep the green screen. Keep the photos.
Let us know in the comments.
Would you go through with the green screen photos after all of this nonsense, or would you cave and change to the adult bouncy house?
Let us know in
That's
the
the
comments.
end of this story. My sister tricked me into babysitting at her wedding, and she refuses to pay me back.
But it's your gift to her.
My sister Jessie, a 30-year-old woman, was married in Vegas to a man I had only met once. She and I are not close at all, so I, 28-year-old woman, was surprised to have her invite me to be a bridesmaid.
Yay.
I, of course, said yes, and I hoped this would bring us closer together.
Aw.
By the way, this comes from user Medical Misadventure on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, she lived in another state, so I was unable to attend any of the pre-wedding events. But to be fair, I actually wasn't invited to any. I assumed it was because she was a drinker and I am an alcoholic who's been sober for 7 years.
Fun.
Yes, I started very early, but hey, congratulations on your journey to sobriety. I flew into Vegas 2 days before the wedding and was excited to join Jessie in her wedding fun, except I wasn't invited.
Uh-oh.
My husband could not come, so it was just myself and my daughter in Vegas alone. I was determined to try to have fun, though, and we spent the day at a strangely empty pool. My niece, who was just a year older than my daughter, came to find me, and she joined in on our fun. I guess there was no childcare plan, so the kids were left to their own devices and had a room key that they were not supposed to leave. My niece told me that the sons of her stepfather were being too loud and were throwing things around the room, so she did not feel safe. I told her she could stay with us in our room. There's little hooligans. Bunch of hooligans. Sure, this isn't going to turn out bad for OP.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, take it. She's going to have to take care of all these little monsters. Dear God. About an hour after my niece found me, I was approached by security with 2 young boys in tow. I had no idea who they were, but the security officers told me that the boys said I was the one who was supposed to be watching them. How would they even know?
Security? You look motherly. You're supposed to watch these.
Yeah,
boys.
these feel like they should be belonging to you.
You woman.
I had absolutely no words. My niece told me that they were her new brothers, so I agreed to watch them.
Fun.
I mean, so...
Just got him today.
Oh, my God. I asked them where my sister and their father were, and they did not know. This proceeded to happen 3 more times. I ended up with 5 boys and 3 girls, not including my own, ranging from age 5 to 15. Oh, nightmare scenario. This is horrific. No one was answering their phone, and most of the kids did not have swimsuits, so I brought them back to my room. They all complained that they were hungry, and I asked if their parents left them any money because I had none, but they said no. So I bought them all dinner on my credit card. I kept the receipt to ask the parents for money later.
There we go.
Smart move. They should definitely be paying for their children to exist. This is not your responsibility.
8 kids.
5 boys, 3 girls,
Oh,
8
no.
kids that she's now taking care of.
Woo.
That is a lot of mouths to feed. After they all ate, I took the kids back to their room. It was a mess and there was no parent anywhere. I ended up taking all of the girls back to my room and we watched a movie and I shared my bed with my 2 girls, counting my niece as one of my girls. In the morning, I went to go check on the boys and they were hungry, so I took them down to the buffet breakfast in the hotel. There I ran into some of the party. They were not at all concerned about their kids. And some were actually mad at me for feeding them since they were fine.
Just didn't really pay him back.
What is this?
What do you mean they were fine?
Yeah.
They're hungry.
I'm getting the sense that these parents are going to just try to leave without their kids and then they're going to have to be yours now. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of them.
I can't even imagine a parent being anything other than thankful that you're feeding their
Thanks
children.
for watching my kid. I didn't know where they were. That's a right response.
Just like you're feeding it. Why are you feeding it?
It's fine.
It's probably fine. I was invited to go out to the family rehearsal dinner that night at a very exclusive restaurant, and I let my sister know that I was not okay with leaving my daughter, who is 6, in a room with several children who were throwing things and had no food. My sister said that her maid of honor was actually going to sit with the kids while we had our family dinner, so it was okay. Like a fool, I trusted her. I got back from what was actually one of the best meals of my life. Well, that's cool. And went to go bring the leftovers to the girls, and I found them in the room with no supervision, cowering in the corner while the boys literally tore up the room. Is that neglect? That
I don't
feels like
know.
neglect.
I don't know if it's that big of a deal.
There's a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like they're doing anything. What? Why are you making
I don't
non-ver?
know. I don't know what you
I
mean
feel
by
like
that.
15 years old is old enough to be able to
got it.
take charge of a situation
To
like
be
that.
a little adult.
Yeah, it's like you can like make sure the kids don't like hurt each other.
Yeah.
Like you should like 15 years old is. I mean,
Yeah.
7 other
But
kids.
it's just 8 kids in a room. No one's watching them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird vibe. Why these parents do not care about their children. I grabbed up all the girls and went to my room with them. I helped them shower and change. Not the ones I didn't know, obviously, but they were older and could do it themselves. And I ordered pizza for us in the boys' room. They were holy terrors, but they were hungry holy terrors. Absolutely no one was answering their phones. The next afternoon was the wedding. I got the 2 girls ready. The other girls went back to their room to get ready, but I gave them a key card to mine so they could come back if needed. I showed up 30 minutes ahead of time and waited and waited. The bride, my sister, was an hour late to her own wedding. She showed up with no makeup because there was no time to put it on after the spa day that everybody but me was invited to.
Because you had to watch the kids.
Dude, your sister has completely taken advantage of you.
Oh, boy.
It's disgusting. I asked the maid of honor where I was supposed to stand as I was not invited to the practice, and she told me I was to sit in the crowd. I was not, it seems, a bridesmaid. I did have to spend $150 on the dress, but I guess that they all decided to kick me out and nobody told me.
Oh, boy.
OP, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
This is terrible.
this is crazy.
Man, you just went from being a bridesmaid to being forced to be a mother of 8. That's crazy.
That is wild.
I should have guessed, but I had a lot of trouble with self-image and boundaries back then, so I assumed this was all normal. Because she was so late, the wedding was reduced to just 10 minutes. We then all went to that restaurant where the wait staff is rude to you to have the reception, and I was forced to sit next to the family member who abused me my whole life. Whoa. This just keeps getting worse
What
and
the heck?
worse for OP. This is terrible. This is the worst wedding ever.
Dang.
The waiter made some very awful comments about that abuse. He didn't know he was just trying to be funny. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is the
What the
nightmare
hell?
just keeps getting worse.
What?
My flight was thankfully just an hour into the reception, so I actually ran out of there with my kiddo. I only said goodbye to my dad and my niece since my sister seemed to have forgotten I was even there. It turns out I was only invited to be a free babysitter. My sister knew I didn't drink, so thought I would be perfect to watch all the kids. There was no point in telling me this, of course, as I was the worthless, stupid middle sister. I have autism, and that's been
Aw.
used as a way for my whole family to treat me like garbage. I was born in the late 70s when the care of people with disabilities was substandard at best. Wow.
Oh. OP. OP,
Yeah,
dang. I'm
I'm-
so sorry. Wild.
Hey, my heart goes out to you. That's super rough.
That's terrible.
But hey, the good news is that you don't have to see these people ever again.
Yeah, no.
Honestly. Now you know not to go to any weddings in the future. Not going.
Don't go.
About a week after the honeymoon was over, I sent my sister the receipts for the food I bought the kids. I had no idea who most of the kids were, and so I just asked her to either ask them or to give me their names and numbers so I could call them. My niece obviously was on me. Neither of the kids ate much anyway. It was all the other kids who ate like they had never seen food. Overall, I spent $250 of unplanned money on kids I didn't know, plus $150 for the dress, $300 for the flight, and the $1,000 for the hotel. Not to mention the $50 gift and $100 for food for myself and my kiddos.
Oh my gosh.
That is quite a lot to throw down on the wedding.
Just to be forgotten.
Just to be made the babysitter who's not even getting paid to be the babysitter.
Damn.
My sister and her new husband make very good money, while my husband and I live off of his disability, and I care for him full time. So Jesse probably didn't understand that this was an absolutely life-ruining amount of money for me. But by the way, our lives would be ruined if you didn't join us live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch every weekday at 3 p.m. when we go live. Just tap our profile.
Easy. I feel like the parents could have maybe helped you out a bit if it was that bad.
Maybe the parents could have stepped up for one day and just been parents of their own children.
Yeah.
They literally just threw all of them into a hotel room and left them and was like, yeah, OP's got it.
And then on top of that, ugh, dude.
You're feeding them? That's the weirdest part to me. Taking them down to the buffet and then they're like, why are you feeding them? They're fine.
They're fine.
What do you mean? It's breakfast time, dude. What?
Yeah.
This is now the time where your kids eat.
Please.
Are you crazy?
I'd be going low to no contact with his sister. Like,
I feel
only
like
holidays, just be civil at holidays.
She was already, I think at the beginning, she said that they weren't really that close to begin with.
And she saw this as an opportunity to get closer.
Exactly. And it
Damn.
was like, yeah, it turns out she was just using you. So
Ugh.
now you know that you don't have to look for any opportunities to get closer to her.
Icky, icky, icky.
Because she doesn't view you as a person. She views you as a tool
Ugh.
to watch children.
Weird.
When I mentioned the amount to my sister, she exploded on me. No. She yelled for 7 days. No, that is not an exaggeration. My husband and I got call after call, and when we stopped answering, she texted, sent emails, and Facebook messages. She then called every single family member and told them who knows what, and they all called, texted, and emailed as well, telling me I should be ashamed of myself. Dude.
Dang.
Oh my God. My voicemail box was full of her screaming at me. Basically, how dare I ask her for money? I chose to feed those kids after all. Do people think that kids don't need food?
I guess not.
Are these people completely brain dead?
They won't eat when I give them veggies, so they don't need to eat at all.
Why are you feeding the kids? They're breathing.
They're
They've
fine.
got air. They've got plenty of
They can
air.
skip a meal.
Just let them lay out in the sun. They're like a plant.
Oh my gosh.
My God. She didn't ask me to watch them or care for them? Yeah, you did. Well, did she? No, whatever. She didn't ask me to watch them or care for them. What? I was a greedy, useless, disgusting pile of garbage. I knew she wanted me to say that to her and to agree that I was stupid and useless, but I was working on my self-esteem, and my husband told me I didn't need to do that anymore. But after 7 days of screaming, I gave in and told her I was stupid and useless and that I was sorry for causing such a big problem. After that, all of the contact stopped, but I felt terrible. My dad slipped me a little bit of money so we could make ends meet for the next few months. This is a whole other kettle of fish as to why he couldn't just help me. The marriage ended before the year was up.
Oh.
Hey, well, at
There we
least
go.
she's not in a happy marriage because she don't deserve it after the way
Dang.
that she just it did you so wrong like that.
Holy
That
cow.
is wild.
I have nothing to say about that.
Yeah.
Speechless.
I'm speechless. I hope that you don't have to deal with your family very often.
Ever again.
That's what I hope.
Golly.
And that is the end of that story.
My sister's mother-in-law tried to control their wedding, so we did something petty.
I love a good petty off.
Disclaimer. I do accept everyone from all over the world and don't like to judge people based on where they are or where their ancestors came from.
Oh boy, I can already tell this one's going to be interesting.
Also, sorry, but this post is long and a bit of a ramble, and there may be a few errors. Sorry. So this story is from a few years ago when my sister got married, but I love to tell it and thought you might like it as well. So all names have been changed to protect the innocents.
All names. I like how that was in all caps. Like the beginning of every word was capitalized.
So glad you spelled that out.
All names have been changed to protect the innocent.
By the way, this comes from Inevitable Crazy 275 in the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So my sister, who I will call Sarah, met her husband, Jacob, about 8 years ago at work. They started dating a few months after and got engaged in 2020 and set a wedding date for 2022. Now, the reason for the long dating and 2-year engagement was because of his mother, who I will call Irina. Now, those stories are for another day, but oh boy, did Irina try to pull stunts during the wedding planning and the actual wedding.
Oh, wow.
Thought this is my favorite story to tell about the wedding. Now, sorry for the long rambling background before I tell the wedding story, which is kind of short, but it helps with context. I'm the middle child of 5 in my family, so my older sister, Lydia, is 6 years older than I am. Melissa is 4 years older than me. Sarah is 2 years younger than I am and was the baby of the family for a very long time until our youngest sister, Sky, was born when Sarah was 14. 2, I made the cake. I'm a baker and have been making desserts for family functions for 20 years since I was 10, as baking is my passion. I'm a bit of a people pleaser when it comes to dietary needs and try to accommodate everyone. So I made both Lydia and Melissa wedding cakes, so it was very important to Sarah that I make her cake.
Okay, that's fair. You don't want to be left out.
No, you got to keep it going. 3, the bridal party consisted of me, maid of honor, Lydia, Melissa, who were bridesmaids, and Sky was the flower girl, along with Lydia's daughter, who was 3 years old at the time of the wedding. Lydia's son, who was 7 at the time, was the ring bearer. The best man and the groomsman were all good friends of Jacob. 4, all of us sisters can't stand Irina for many reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is because both of my parents passed away in a tragic accident shortly after Sarah started dating Jacob, and my sister's mother-in-law, Irina, had always wanted a daughter, but only had Jacob, so she was very excited when he found out Jacob was with someone who had 4 sisters. So she decided that because of our parents were both dead, she would be a parent to both of us.
My God, that's like a lot to process. And also, what a run-on sentence.
I had to breathe 4 times. Even though 4 of us were adults, she even went as far as to try to adopt Sky about 8 months after our parents died, even though Sky was living as happy as she could with Lydia and her husband and son. She made life a nightmare for Lydia, her husband, and Sky. What is wrong with this woman?
Sounds like she's got problems.
Problems.
That's how you spell it.
5, Jacob's parents hated each other. Don't know why they got married in the first place. Divorced when he was 2, and his dad was a baker. Died when he was 12 of cancer. Okay.
Oh, that's why, because he got like baker's lung.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he got the carbon,
Oof.
the burnt stuff in his lungs probably.
Yeah. Okay, now with the background out of the way, here is the story of Irina and the wedding cake. About a month after the engagement was announced, Irina and her husband, who I will call Elmer, invited us to celebrate Sarah and Jacob's engagement. After dinner, Irina had pulled out a binder I guess she made. It was literally titled Mine and Jacob's Perfect Wedding. Inside was all sorts of details such as venue locations, guest lists, 4 different bridal dresses for everybody's body types, what type of food was going to be served, how the cake should look, what Irina was going to wear, etc., etc.
Hey, are you getting married to your son?
Dude,
like why
looks like it.
My and Jacob's perfect wedding.
No,
hey,
me and Jacob. That's not even how you do that.
Me and Jacob's.
It should be
perfect
Jacob
wedding.
and I's.
Yeah,
and it should have Sarah's name on it, and it should even be your binder.
Grammar man over there. What?
I can't talk.
That's unhinged, dude. For the mom to be like, my wedding with my son. Ugh.
Sarah looked at Jacob in horror and asked him if he had already planned the wedding with his mother.
Yeah, you can't. No, you got to be like, no. You
got to throw that binder in the trash. Jacob denied knowing anything about this, turned to his mother in horror, and told her in no uncertain terms if she tried to give her opinions. Irina just said, well, this is going to give me some ideas for the cake since she's doing it. I simply replied coolly, that I only take the bride and groom's opinions.
Boom, because it's their wedding, you goofy. What are you doing?
Flash forward a year. Sarah, Jacob, and I sat down at her place to discuss wedding desserts. We talked for a while about what treats they wanted after some back and forth because they just wanted simple desserts. So, as not to add much onto already my long to-do list for the wedding, they finally decided to go for a dessert bar of mini brownies, mini lemon shortbread tarts, and mini chocolate chip cookies, along with some fruit, so everyone could sample a little bit of everything before we started talking about the cake.
Yeah, they're like, we want to make sure that you don't have too much to do, so make 4 different desserts, please, and make it enough for the entire wedding party.
Thanks. No, they're not the bad guy. Leave them out of this.
No, okay,
They're not the bad guy.
Okay. Sorry. It's just kind of whatever.
Sarah and James wanted a showstopper 3-tiered all-white cake with 2 fake tiers at the top to be real for just them to eat and no fondant anywhere on the cake. The flavor was to be vanilla with vanilla butter because they want to enjoy all of the other desserts. They also wanted 3 flavors of cupcakes around them for guests to eat. As we were getting ready to talk cake flavors, Arena walked into the apartment uninvited and just sat down and gave me a list of all the desserts she had already told her list of guests. 6 flavors of macaroons, 4 kinds of chocolate truffles, brownies, blondes, an ice cream bar with 5 different kinds of homemade ice creams.
Oh my God. This is not your wedding, woman.
Yeah, me and Jacob's wedding. Come on.
Sorry.
Did you not read the binder, dude?
I didn't respect the binder. That's my bad. That's my bad.
Jacob, being done with his mother's games, told Arena that I am the maid of honor and I will be doing a few things and her opinions aren't welcome, then tried to drag her out of the apartment. Unfortunately, she saw that sketch I did for the cake and screamed that I stole her idea for the cake, and now I had to let her design it.
Hey, shut up!
Jacob eventually got his mother down to her car, and all was quiet, right? Wrong. See, later that week, Linda, Melissa, Sarah, Sky, and I met up for our monthly sister dinner / activity. It's the one time a month we all set aside. Significant others, kids, Linda's, work friends, and to-do lists just to spend an evening together. We've been doing this since our parents passed away, and it's so special to us. So, we get to the restaurant we always go to and order our dinners. While waiting for our dinners, Arena walks in and pulls up a chair beside me and tries to tell me, since I copied her idea, I have to let her design the cake. I have to. You have to let me design it now.
What do you mean copy her idea? It's like
I already did most of it. Let me do the rest of it.
You think you're
right now
the first person to come up with a multi-tiered wedding cake? You idiot.
She is. Have you not read the binder?
No,
she is.
I'm sorry. I didn't read the binder. Stop it. You're making me feel bad about
just read the freaking binder, dude.
Ooh.
She hands me this god-awful drawing that I'm pretty sure looks like a toddler drew with it, with notes telling me that it was to be a rich chocolate cake flavor with lemon curd filling covered in white ganache and white fondant. What? Chocolate cake with lemon curd filling.
You're like, I have to design the cake, and I want to design the worst possible cake, chocolate lemon.
I told her I was not discussing any details of the cake with her and to leave before I drag her butt outside. She threw a tantrum, calling me a plagiarizer, and screamed at me. She caused so much of a scene that the cops were called, and she was trespassed from the restaurant. Oh my gosh.
She cried plagiarism over cake designs. Like what? Like it was a high school home ec class?
Yeah.
She's like, you copied my final project. Teacher, she plagiarized.
After dinner, we went mini golfing, and we started discussing the wedding when Sky got a big grin on her face and asked if I could incorporate the Dutch flag into the cake.
Okay.
See, a detail I forgot to mention is Jacob's dad was Dutch. Arena, however, is not, and because of her hatred for her ex-husband, she hates all things Dutch. I thought about it for a moment when an idea came to me, and I told Sarah about it, and she said do it. See, my idea was to make the tier they cut into look like the Dutch flag. From the outside, it looks all white until they cut into it. Flash forward to the wedding and reception. Everything went as bumpy as you would expect, with Arena as your soon-to-be mother-in-law. Until the cake cutting, when Jacob and Sarah cut the cake and pulled out a slice and he started tearing up at the sight of the Dutch flag in the cake. He then spun the cake around so everyone could see it. As he was saying a few words thanking his bride for including his father in such a small but meaningful way, he was cut off by a high-pitched shriek. Arena, who was seated at a table just a few feet to the right of the cake, started screaming incoherently and running towards us before picking up the cake and throwing it towards me, who was sitting at the head of the table on the left-hand side of the cake. Hilariously, she missed, and the cake fell on the floor. Soon, we could finally understand what she was saying. She was screaming about how dare we represent the Netherlands when their country of ancestry wasn't represented. She screamed that we should have placed Russia's flag in the cake to honor her as the only living parent of the couple. At that point, everyone and everything went silent. See, she's only 1/16 of Russian.
Oh my God. This woman is fictitious. She's got to be. No one is this awful of a person. Like, if this wasn't a wedding, it would still be bad. But the fact that it's your own son's wedding that you're doing this at, get a grip.
While my sister and I are 1/4 Ukrainian.
Oh, God. Well, I'm sure that there's no tensions about that, I'm sure.
Our late mother's grandparents were all born and raised in Ukraine and immigrated to this country at varying ages. And hopefully you can immigrate to see us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile and join us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch.
That's right. Well, I would certainly not want the mother-in-law around.
Yeah, no.
Moving forward.
No. Yeah, no. She has shown her true colors, her true flag colors.
You know, I mean, I understand not liking your, ex-husband, but maybe like put it aside for one moment at your son's wedding. Hello.
That's crazy, girl. That was the final straw. He had security drag her out, and that was the last time he spoke with his mother.
Wow.
Now, 2 years later, she tried to reach out, but Jacob remained firm in avoiding her. They moved to the other side of the country and are very happy and have a wonderful childless elderly next door neighbors who dote on their baby. That's the story. I can tell more stories about Arena in the next few years. I had to put up with her. And that's it. Wow. Girl, she is insane-o.
I hope you never have to put up with her ever again. And I applaud your husband for immediately cutting him off.
Yes, exactly. And that's the end of the story.
I caught my cousin's fiance cheating on her years ago. I don't want to attend their wedding.
I mean, why would you?
Why would you attend something that you know is going to fail? My cousin, 29 female, and I, 29 female, were basically sisters growing up since we both had all brothers and were 3 months apart. We had a special bond, and she would always joke about being each other's maids of honor one day. We stayed close through childhood, high school, and even into college, despite the fact that I moved across country. By the way, this comes from Fun Chocolate 1389 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So, for context, her family owned a second house right up the street from my home, and that's why it was so easy to introduce her to my friends over the years. This was never an issue until I accidentally introduced her to her now fiance. Fast forward to the summer after our freshman year of college, I moved back home for the summer, and she decided to spend the summer at her family's home in my neighborhood. We were both 19 at the time, but had good enough fake IDs, which we'd use to get into our neighborhood bars. One night, we decided to go out and meet some of my friends who my cousin had never met. When we got to the bar, my friends were with a group of boys who I sort of knew, one of whom is my cousin's now fiance. Let's call him Dean. Dean was dating one of my friends. Let's call her Shay. But I could tell that my cousin liked him. I caught them flirting a few times, but didn't think much of it since she knew that Dean was taken. My sophomore year of college started at the end of August, and I left my hometown for summer, while my cousin didn't have to go back to college for another few weeks, so she stayed. About 2 months after school had started, I got a text from Shay saying that my cousin had stolen Dean from her, and they had been hooking up for weeks. Needless to say, the friendship between Shay and my cousin ended. Dean and my cousin became official, and she stopped hanging out with everyone I introduced her to. Fast forward again, 1 year later into my cousin's relationship with Dean, my relationship with Shay was strained at best. One night, I got a text from Shay claiming that Dean had been spicy texting her while he was away on business. Ooh.
Oh, spicy business.
Dean was saying things to her like, I wish you were with me right now, and I can't wait to see you unclothed, and even sent pictures of his unmentionables. Shay
Oh.
wanted me to tell my cousin. Honestly, freaking Shay is like an angel. Because she got for like her, Opie's cousin stole Dean from Shay, and Shay is like, you know what? He's sending me pictures. I want her to know. I told Shay I wouldn't confront my cousin unless I had proof, since it's a huge accusation, after which I had the unfortunate experience of seeing screenshots of my cousin's now fiance's unmentionables. It was gross. And based off how cocky he sounded in his messages, I could tell it was definitely not the first time this happened. I decided to tell my cousin and called her. I made sure she was alone. Dean was still on his business trip before telling her that he had been spicy texting Shay. Since it was years ago, I can't remember verbatim, but I remember assuming she would break up with Dean. She cried, but I could tell she was already ready to forgive him. He didn't even apologize, and made it seem like this wasn't the first time this happened. I told my cousin because I thought it was the right thing to do, but I was wrong. It has totally ruined our relationship. It's now 8 years later, and we've barely spoken. My cousin and Dean are getting married in September.
Dude.
I've never told anyone what happened except for my mom, who I know has kept the secret. When she sent out her wedding invitations, I was shocked to have been invited, but not shocked to have not received a +1. My boyfriend, 28 male, and I have been dating over a year, so I wanted to bring him. Assuming we could let bygones be bygones, I RSVP'd yes and requested a +1 via her wedding website as instructed on the invite. She never responded. A month ago, I went to her bridal shower, after which I found out her mom surprised her by inviting me, aka my cousin didn't want me there. I'd be lying if I said meeting her maid of honor, who she'd always joked would be me, didn't break my heart into a million pieces. My cousin ignored me the entire time, even though I had flown across the country to be there. After the party, about 20 of my family members headed back to her family's house in my neighborhood. For the first time in hours, she came up to me to say, "So tell me about this man in your life," in the snootiest voice you could ever imagine, right in front of my parents. I answered politely, even though it pained me, but was quickly saved by my uncle interrupting with more wine to pour. Pretending to slip away to the bathroom, I Irish goodbye to the party about 10 minutes later. 2 days ago, I received the official invitation to the wedding, no +1. At her shower, I stood right next to her friends when they were gossiping about who they were going to bring as their dates. So I know that not giving me a +1 to her wedding was intentional. She knows I have a boyfriend. She asked me about him. My boyfriend wouldn't care if I went to the wedding without him, but that's not the point. It's the principle. For years, I have been taking the high road, staying in touch with her parents, being nice to her at family parties, and even tried to apologize more than once despite doing nothing wrong, in my opinion. I think the problem is that she doesn't want anyone in the family to know about this because she's ashamed that she's stayed with this guy who continues to cheat on her. After almost a decade of being mercilessly bullied by her for trying to be a good friend and tell her that Dean was being untrustworthy, I feel so beat down. She didn't want me at her bridal shower, and she clearly doesn't want me at her wedding. It feels like she's been making it so hard to be there for her just so I will slip up and give her a reason to actually hate me, instead of choosing to cut me off because I know that her future husband is a cheater. By the way, we would never cut you off if you joined us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Just tap her profile.
That's right. Just give it a tap.
Tap it.
If you're watching this in the future, we could be live right now.
Go check. There's a little bit left. Stop talking to her.
I think at this point,
A little bit.
it depends on how petty you're feeling at the
Mhm.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm at right now, and this is not to say that this is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. It's just from
A
where
thing
I'm
to
sitting
do.
in this exact moment, my pettiness levels are telling me
Yes.
to tell a lot of people at the wedding about that. Not even a lot. Be tactical about it. Tell the right people at the wedding that's going to make her the most annoyed. And that's me feeling petty right now. Is
Yeah.
that the right thing to do? No, probably not.
And then if you're feeling not petty,
yeah, Sophia
um,
will give you the answer to that.
maybe you just don't go to the wedding.
Have a night in with your boyfriend and don't
Yeah.
tactically, I don't even know if ruin is the right word because she already knows that her husband was trying to cheat on
undermine
her.
her
So
wedding.
it's already undermined.
That's true.
I think now you're just trying to be like, I'm just a truth teller.
I'm
What,
just-
what is that people like to say now? I'm a teller of truths.
I'm a truther.
That man sent me a picture of his unmentionables.
The idea of flying across the country to watch a marriage that A, I obviously don't support, B, is between a bride that hates me and the shadiest man I've ever met, And C, ruin one of my most cherished relationships is an absolute nightmare. All of my aunts/cousins are married, and all of the other girls there will have dates. I will feel so alone and embarrassed without my boyfriend, which is what she wants. If I don't go, it will truly be the end of our relationship, but I would finally be standing up for myself. This feels like a boundary I need to set because no one deserves to be treated the way she treats me. So am I the a-hole for not going to my cousin's wedding? No.
No.
Don't go.
Gonna say no.
She doesn't deserve you.
I feel like
Jesus.
I'm missing out on if you had gone to the wedding and had been a problem.
Yeah.
If you know
Weird.
8 years ago that this guy was sending pictures of his unmentionables,
Yeah, get over it.
what are you doing?
My friends didn't invite me to their wedding, so I excluded them from my Christmas party. I think that's a fair trade.
I don't know. I think you gotta exclude them from 2 more Christmas parties.
Yeah, just
and
to be
Hanukkah.
fair.
You need to have a Hanukkah and then exclude them from it.
I throw a pretty big Christmas party every year, going on a decade now. A few years ago at one, I threw, my friend Tara met my former coworker Tony, and they hit it off. They dated for a while, and 2 years later, once again at my Christmas party, she showed up with a ring on her finger, and they announced for the first time that they were engaged. I was super happy for them. They got married this spring. We didn't get invited. It was literally your party that led to them getting married. By the way, this comes from throwaway, not invite, on the OK Storytime subreddit. So when I was sending around my party invitations this year, I didn't see any reason to invite them back if they didn't think I wasn't worthy of making their guest list. I have known them both for years, basically introduced them, and they literally announced their engagement at my home. It got back to me today that they're very upset with us for not inviting them this year, that my party is something they consider special and they think I'm being petty.
How big was their wedding?
That's what I was gonna ask. Because
How
if it was
big
a
was it?
small wedding, that makes sense.
If it was like a huge wedding,
Yeah.
you didn't get invited.
That's
You're
like,
like, what the heck?
A couple friends mentioned it was a smaller wedding and they
Okay.
feel like I'm just not punishing them. It wasn't, though. There were probably 200 people there. And I know at least 50 of them. And I was a little surprised at some of the names that made the cut over us. I didn't make a stink about it or anything, but I don't see why I should welcome them into my home again after being snubbed like that.
I didn't make a stink of it, but I just held in my emotions and then didn't invite them to my party.
You can't come to my birthday party.
You literally can't come to my birthday.
My partner thinks I should just let it go and invite them back, but I don't see a reason why I should. Am I the a-hole? And there are some relevant comments. Honestly, I don't think you have to invite anyone that you don't want to invite.
I think yes, and I think that if you don't invite someone out of spite
Yeah.
because you are hurt, you weren't invited, but you
I think you
didn't
could have
share
had a
your
conversation.
feelings,
Yeah.
it feels quite immature.
Yeah, I think you could have had a conversation and said like, "Hey, I was pretty hurt that you didn't come to the wedding or that I wasn't invited to the wedding."
And you know,
Especially
get-
because you consider my party to be an important thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
But instead, I'm just not
Just
gonna invite you to my
non-inviting.
Christmas party.
Relevant comments. Nickit92 says, not the a-hole. You can invite and not invite whoever you want without any reason. And if they want one, it's a smaller party this year. Hodo and Fuego says, 100% this. If the event was so special to them, then they would associate it with you as well as a special friend and would have invited you. Piffly says, it also feels so tacky to steal OP's Christmas party to announce their engagement like that. If they had asked OP beforehand, then it would be different. But just showing up with rings on, HCO2000 says, right? They got a snazzy engagement party that had bartenders and was catered for free. It's gross that they're more upset that they're missing the party and not that they hurt OP, even if it wasn't their intention. That is true. Like, they made no, attempt to apologize to OP. It was just like, why can't we come to your party?
Well, we are missing so much context here.
This is true. We
There
only
was
know
like
OP's.
no context here. We don't know if, like, how do they know that that's the reason unless OP said it?
I think that
'Cause
they
all they did-
mentioned that they or at least the friend. I think that they said they knew.
No, they did know, but
yeah, I think they
but
knew
there's
the
a
reason.
they know, and I think that's because OP probably said something.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe they don't know that the reason, why they weren't invited.
Yeah.
The Clumsy Pirate says, not the a-hole. If they can't even invite the person who introduced them to their wedding, then I don't think they should expect an invitation to your Christmas party. If you're not close enough to make it to the wedding invite list, why should they be close enough to you to make it to your Christmas party? OP says, you don't know the half of it. Over the last few years, we have literally had it catered, had bartenders inside and outside, even hired someone to entertain kids earlier in the night. This sounds like a sick Christmas party.
Yeah, can I get the invite?
Come on. Yeah, can I take their invite?
Yeah, can we?
My partner and I put so much time, energy, and money into this every year because we love our friends. It started out small when we were younger, and now it's this big thing. I just don't like being taken for granted. Brance Anon says, yeah, this all is making a lot more sense now. You go out of your way every year to throw this huge party for everyone, and now they're upset they're the only ones that are missing out. Not like they cared when all of your friends went to their wedding, and you were the only ones missing out. Screw these people, you don't owe them anything. And Opie says, yeah, I guess that about sums it up. Thank you. And there
Okay.
is an update.
Didn't expect an
I
update.
I think I understand. I'm a little bit on the side of like they could have talked it out, could have had a conversation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But also sometimes it's like you realize, oh, I'm not really that close with that person. And it's like,
Yeah.
is it even worth having conversation?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
I'm understanding a little more, but it doesn't seem like, oh yeah, so like I don't feel like that good of friends with them, so I'm
Yeah.
just not gonna invite
It
them.
feels like spite.
But I mean, it was almost explicit that like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna invite them because they didn't invite me, and
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of the pettiness around that.
But there is an update, so let's find out if this is all hashed out.
But can I come to this Christmas party though?
I still really want to come to this
I feel
Christmas
like-
party. It sounds pretty sick. Dang, y'all. I never expected my post would blow up the way it did. Here's the original post for reference. Since I got so many requests to check back in, here's the update. I stuck to my guns and did not invite them to my Christmas party. My partner stood by me when I told him I had made my decision and didn't bring it up again. Neither did our friends. Many of you guessed that they would try and crash our party. I got worried that could happen after all the responses, but thankfully it didn't. Probably 100+ of you guessed she wanted to hijack the party to announce she was
No.
pregnant. If that's the case, they haven't told anyone as far as I know.
I thought that's what they were
I was
saying.
like, no. They did, however, decide to try and throw their own party at the same time as
Dang.
ours. Okay, now they're
Okay,
being
now they're
petty.
being petty.
Several friends
Damn.
told us they were trying to convince them to come to theirs instead. Okay, but theirs is lame. And Opie's
It's not
is cool.
swanky at all. You're
Yeah.
not even reading the freaking Hanukkah story.
I honestly hope they had some guests and had a great time. I wish them no ill will, but I think just about everyone we expected came to our party, so I doubt they poached any guests from us. They made enough of a last-minute fuss over this that the whole thing became the gossip of our party. They're doing, not mine. I chose to not engage in it, but the consensus I heard was everyone thought it was bizarre they chose not to invite us to their wedding, and that them complaining about not being invited to our party was in poor taste. Most common questions on Reddit was why did we not get an invite to their wedding? From what I can tell from people at our party gossiping about the situation, they said it was because we're a little bit older than they are. I think that's weird since my partner and I are both 35, they're 28, 29, so it's not like we're very far apart.
Yeah, that's I don't trust that reason at all.
Yeah, that's silly.
I'm friends with people that age.
Whoa. Tara,
Facts.
Tara used to hang out with us at least once a week when she was single, and I literally introduced them. The whole thing still seems strange to me, but I guess it is what it is. And by the way, you know what else is what it is? Joining us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube. Just tap our profile.
That is what it is.
So, yeah, that's how it all went down. Our party was a blast. We got to see so many friends, some of which we haven't really seen since before COVID. Everyone had a great time. People literally brought toddlers we hadn't gotten to meet yet because of how crazy the world has been over the last couple of years. It was a wonderful evening. I hope y'all had as good of a Christmas as we did. And that is the end of that story.
So
Lovely.
this Christmas party you're having.
Yeah, have we talked about what's happening this Christmas? Because Christmas is coming up again. All of my friends are invited to a wedding that I was specifically excluded from.
Don't invite them to your Christmas party.
I, 28 male, used to have a friend group of about 10 people back when we were in middle and high school. Then college happened and we all drifted apart. Nothing happened to make us drift apart, just growing up and losing contact. Still friends, but not talk all the time, hang out regularly friends, if that makes sense. But of course, some of us stayed close friends with each other. By the way, this comes from same file 502 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So one person from this friend group, Kayla, fake name, 28 female, is getting married in a few weeks. I didn't get an invitation, but I wasn't hurt. I understood. We didn't stay close friends. But then I was hanging out with my best friend Bob, 28 male, who was also in that friend group a few days ago, and he mentioned that he's going to the wedding.
Oh.
I was a little surprised, but I just told him I hope he had a good time. He asked if I was going, and I told him no, I didn't get an invite.
And he said, sucks to
"He said,
suck.
That's you loser.
Loser.
He said that was strange because everyone else from the group was going.
Oh.
Damn, they don't like you.
Damn. Yeah, seriously. This is targeted at this point.
2 of them were plus ones as they were dating or married to other ones who got an invite, but they were all going, and Kayla knew it and even told Bob she was really happy that the gang was getting back together on her special day.
The part of the gang we like is getting back together.
I told Bob I was kind of hurt by that, but I didn't want to make a big deal of it. 2 days pass. Kayla calls me fuming mad that I was whining that I didn't get an invite to anyone who would listen. I told her that I wasn't. I explained to her what happened. She said that she's been getting texts and calls from other members of the group saying that she should have included me and wanted me to put a stop to it. I said I would do my best and that I was sorry that I caused her any trouble. She thanked me for the apology and hung up.
Wait. Is that true?
No. Basically, so what happened, I think, is OP told Bob, oh, bummer, I wish I got an invite. And then Bob goes and rallies the troops. He's like, OP didn't get an invite. Invite them. Invite him. And then the bride is coming back and saying, like, you're telling everyone that I didn't invite you, blah, 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 blah,
so
blah.
she said the texts are true, but they're from the friend group that is texting her.
Yes,
Got
yeah.
it.
And she thinks that, like, OP sent them, I guess. Or rallied them. I called Bob and asked him why he spread this around. And he said that he didn't mean to. He felt bad that I was hurt and he wanted to ask someone else from the group if they knew why I was invited. And she spread it around, I guess. And everyone wanted to know why Kayla cut me out specifically. So they started asking her.
A little gossip.
A
Jillian.
little
here.
gossip train. So I made a Facebook group chat with all of them and politely asked them to leave Kayla alone. That I was just hurt in that moment and vented about it to my best friend, and that's where it should have stayed. They all said okay and apologized to Kayla.
But like, why isn't she invited?
Yeah, why is OP still not invited?
She was like,
Any guesses?
I don't know. Maybe he's like,
Maybe he's stinky.
maybe he's stinky.
OP's
me
a
think
male.
about that.
I'm kidding.
Or
he's not
no,
stinky.
what?
OP's a
Oh,
male.
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the bride had a crush on him
Mm.
and is like, oh, he can't come to.
I think it's the stinky one.
I think he's
Maybe
really
he's a
stinky.
spy.
Oh, so now you're on board. with the
Now
spy
you're on the
theory.
spy train.
Okay. Last story of the night,
Jeez
and now you're on board.
Louise. Yesterday, Kayla made a Facebook post ranting about me. Why? Without saying my name, and said she had to hire security and give them a photo
Shut
of me
up.
to make sure I didn't crash the
That's
Reddit.
so
Oh my
dramatic.
God. Something I would never do. The comments under the post were calling her out. Yes.
Hey.
She called me again and screamed at me that I was ruining her wedding and told me that some of the friends are considering not going to the wedding now. Girl, you did this to yourself.
How dare you make me make that post?
I love that OP said one thing, was like, oh, bummer, I'm not invited to the wedding.
Yeah.
And this it is being like pulled into this drama-filled events that he was like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, that means OP. People respect you and
People
people have
like
your
you,
back.
man.
Yeah,
Even
people
no one
like
likes
you.
Kayla.
Even though you smell bad, like people
Yeah.
still
People,
like you.
even though you're a spy, people want you there.
Mm-hmm. And now I'm just wondering if I should have just kept my mouth shut or stood up for myself or what. And there is an edit.
Edit time.
Next day, I woke up to 160-something notifications on this, and I'm
Whoa.
doing my best to answer questions
Oh,
and all
from
that.
the Reddit. Okay.
But to answer some frequent questions and points. I'm bi. I have no knowledge of Kayla ever having a crush on me. I don't know if her fiance is gay or bi. I never dated Kayla. I dated someone else from the group back in high school and college, but the relationship ended amicably, and I'm still good friends with her. The only notable event that might have made things weird is that we all went skinny dipping once when we were 16, but nothing else really happened there. And as far as I know, nobody was creeped out or anything by it.
Wait. Before you mentioned the bi thing,
Yeah.
Aaron Nicole said
Homophobia.
question mark?
Possibly.
But like you didn't even mention the bi thing yet.
How did you know?
I don't know. I mean, I'm like curious if it said anything in the story.
I don't think so.
Huh.
There was no big political shift in any of us that may have divided us. Update 1. Do you have any thoughts before we jump into this?
I just want to know. Like,
I
what's
just
going
need
on
to know
here?
why
Something's
Kayla
going
won't
on.
invite OP.
Yeah.
Anyway, I finally got an answer to
Now we
why
know.
I wasn't
Okay.
invited to the wedding. Put your thoughts in the comments real quick.
What
Get
do
them
you
out
think?
there.
What
Put
do you
your
think?
conspiracy
What do you think,
theories.
Keon?
Spy. Stinky
Spy.
spy. No,
Spy.
Spy. No, I think
someone else at the wedding.
I think
maybe
someone does
said they
not
don't.
like
Yeah,
OP
that's what I think.
for some odd reason. We don't know the
Someone
exact reason,
hates
but like
OP.
someone doesn't like OP. This is the reason. Is it the fiance? Is it the bride or the groom? We don't know. I think it's
Someone
like
hates
somebody that's very important in this wedding
Mhm.
does not like.
You don't think the
Okay.
bride just doesn't like?
Possibly. I just think overall someone
someone hates
really
OP.
someone really hates OP for some stupid reason.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that someone else from the group named Samantha, again fake names all around, has had a crush
Oh.
on me for years. So I was
did-
close. I was close.
How?
Oh, well, I said that maybe the bride had a crush on him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But has been too afraid to tell me or act on it. Samantha was in the bridal party of Kayla's wedding and told Kayla that she was finally going to make a move on me at the wedding
Hey,
after all her bridal party duties were taken care
let's
of.
go.
Wait, so Kayla was
Cock blocking.
cock blocking. That's what I was going to say, but I wasn't sure if I could say it.
I said it.
Kayla didn't like this and thinks that I'm not good enough for Samantha.
Oh, damn. So someone didn't like her
Yeah.
or him, and it was Kayla.
But she didn't say anything and decided to just not invite me and hope Samantha dropped it.
Wow.
But when Samantha heard about me not being invited, she could smell the BS and confronted Kayla, knowing exactly why I wasn't invited, and said she wasn't sure she wanted to be in the bridal party after Kayla would do something like this to her.
So I was right. Thank you.
You were right.
What?
I didn't. Yeah, I was like, someone doesn't like.
Someone
OP.
doesn't like OP.
And I said,
Merkel
maybe
Weiss
it's
says,
Kayla.
Kayla, why are you a hater? That's when Kayla called me, oh my God, and flipped out the first time. After the group chat where I asked them to stop, Samantha was so upset that she did drop out of the bridal
Oh.
party, and that prompted the second phone call to blow up to me. Samantha called me this afternoon and told me all of this. Damn, did she confess her feelings?
Oh.
Did she confess?
You had a little confession here? Or
Oh,
something?
apologize for all the BS and asked me out for dinner on the night of the wedding. Smooth. Samantha's smooth.
Hey.
And I
Go
accepted.
get it, girl.
Oh.
This might seem petty to go out on the night of the wedding, but it was Samantha's idea. And also, Kayla is bat crap crazy, and her number and social media is blocked. So I can't get any more calls if she blows up a third time.
Are you into
There is
Samantha,
another
though?
update. Yeah.
OP?
Are you
Are
into
you- is this,
are
like, in
you into
spite?
Samantha or is this
Or are
spite?
you into
That's-
Samantha?
Maybe it's both. Kimberly Fine says, get it, girl. Yeah,
Hey.
Samantha is living out her dreams.
Get it.
I also
get it.
love that she was like, hey, OP, just want to let you know, Kayla attacked you because
I'm into you.
I'm into you. What do you think about that? Do you want to go out
You into this?
while she's getting married?
You give
Alright.
OP the note.
Yeah.
1 for yes, 2 for yes, 3 for please say yes.
Please say yes. But there is another update.
Hit it.
The wedding and my date with Sam is next weekend, so expect the big update after that. Sam is considering / joking, not sure which, that she's going to wear her bridesmaid's dress to the date because she loves the color. She already prayed for it, and my tits look fantastic in it. Samantha is
Yeah.
confident, and I love that.
Yeah, what's up with Samantha? What's up with her?
What's
She
up with you?
single?
W.
I'm a little worried that's too shoving it in Kayla's face, but Sam says she deserves it. I also asked Sam if she would be willing to write her own POV here, and she said she would love to,
Oh.
and that she will after our date when we go back to my place.
Whoa!
Ooh,
Coming on
Samantha!
strong, Samantha.
This is wild.
Also, Kayla actually sent me a letter in the mail apologizing and asking to unblock her so we can talk about this and heal the loose ends. I didn't unblock her. Sam is completely certain that she's only trying to apologize so that I'll tell the other 4 friends who have dropped out of the wedding to attend it. And there is another update.
Update.
Anyway, update. Out of the 10 people that were in the friend group, 4 went to the wedding. Those are 4 haters right there. 4 people who didn't stand by OP.
Y'all hating.
Kayla, of course, one. That is Kayla's cousin, but still sides with me, her partner, and another whose mom is best friend with Kayla's mom and would absolutely end me if I didn't go, despite all this BS. Sam has Kayla blocked on everything, but Kayla has sent her 3 written letters trying to convince her to reconsider dropping out of the wedding and shown up at Kayla's house twice to try in person. Sam burned all 3 letters and didn't answer the door both times, but told Kayla through the door the second time that if she didn't go away, Sam would call the cops.
Oh.
Kayla called her an ungrateful skank and ran away.
Whoa.
She's like, you skank! Ah! While the wedding was going on, the 3 friends at the wedding were leaking info of Sam and I in a group chat. This is so funny. This is so funny.
like
There's like a
childish, you mean?
side plot.
Yeah.
I kind of loved it. Kayla replaced Sam in the wedding party with another cousin in a dress that didn't match the others.
Ooh.
Kayla seemed happy throughout the wedding, and honestly, despite all this, I'm happy that she was happy at her wedding. Or at least pretended to be happy. As Sam said she might be doing. No big drama or blow up or anything happened at the wedding, and Kayla and her husband are off to a honeymoon in Hawaii, which I don't know how well that's going to go with the wildfires going on there right now. Now to the date. It
What's
went
a
very,
snail
very well.
trail?
You don't need to
You don't need to know
I
about
wanna
that.
know.
No.
No.
Guys,
No.
Can you tell
No.
me what
No.
a snail
Don't.
trail is? In the comments,
No,
please.
stop.
No.
this is the
We-
last story of the day. Come on.
We
I
met up
wanna
at a
know.
Korean BBQ place
Ooh.
that I said was good, and
First
we just
date,
had a
though?
great time talking about the past. How
What
long
about
she's
me?
had a crush on me since
middle school.
She took this moment.
Yeah.
You know
She
what? Honestly,
bodied this moment.
Kayla kind of helps you.
Yeah.
Common enemy.
She
Yeah.
got some meat and then
Okay.
some
Talking about the
meat.
Kayla situation
Yeah.
and just all sorts of stuff. Afterwards, we went back to my place. Okay.
They should just elope in Gibraltar. These people have good memories.
Gibraltar.
That's funny as hell.
Yes, off the coast of Spain, which we all know.
Which we all know.
Afterwards, we went back to my place and spent the night together. Ooh!
I said it. She got some
Samantha
meat.
works fast. And all day the next day, she read these Reddit posts and a bunch of comments. I said she could make her own account to post her POV, or I could just let her use this one. And she said she would text me her POV, and I could just copy and paste it here. So that's what I'm going to do under this.
But how was the night?
That's what I want to know.
We want the important details.
Sam and I have a few more dates lined up, and the others from the group know about Kayla's reason for excluding me from the wedding and are cheering us on. Really happy that this came out of a bad situation. Thanks to everyone who assured me I wasn't in the wrong, cheered me on through this, and made me laugh with funny comments after I was feeling pretty down, and felt like an a-hole that ruined his friend's wedding when I clearly didn't do anything wrong. And this just kind of happened to me, and I handled it as best I could. Sam's POV!
How much longer?
Not that much longer.
Okay.
I think this is the end.
I was like a whole nother POV.
No, it's just Sam's.
Okay.
Man, oh man. But this is really cute. This really worked
Yeah.
out for everyone.
I don't
Except
like-
for Kayla.
Yeah, right. Out of anything that could have come from like not
Yeah.
being invited to a wedding and then having
Love.
all this drama.
New love.
Love is in the air.
A beautiful night spent with new love.
Yes.
Sam's POV. Hey Reddit, I'm Sam. He never gave himself a fake name, so I'll call him Skipper. I've had a crush on Skipper since about 6th grade, but never acted on it for various
So
reasons.
long.
Such is my fear of rejection. He was dating my friend for a while. I thought he was gay, things like that. But when Caleb was getting married, I saw an opportunity to finally go for it. Then I got my bridesmaid dress and saw how incredible I looked in it. And
Yeah.
that solidified my drive to make a move on Skipper.
Hey.
I was so excited that I told Kayla about this, and she smiled and said she was happy for me. I took that to mean she was cool with it. Then some time passes, and I get word from one of our friends that Skipper was not invited, and I was suspicious right away. Kayla was one of my best friends growing up, and I love her, but she's always had this underhanded side to her. And I suspected that my plan was the reason Skipper wasn't invited, so I asked her about it. She tried to dodge the question and manipulate me, but finally, she just admitted it and told me that Skipper wasn't good enough for me. I was furious and told her I was extremely hurt that she would do something like this to me and that I wasn't sure I wanted to be her bridesmaid anymore. She screamed at me and hung up. Later, I was added to a group chat with the other members of the group, and Skipper asked us all to drop whatever we were saying to Kayla, and I just knew that Kayla had beat him out about this, but I wanted to respect what Skipper was asking us to do and keep the peace, so I kept my mouth shut. But then Kayla made that Facebook post, and I was so upset that I called her and dropped out of the wedding. I understand that's when she called Skipper and screamed at him the second time. A day or two passes, and I call Skipper and tell him what happened and ask him out. He says yes. Kayla harasses me for a while in text, calls, letters, and showing up at my house until I block her on everything and threaten to call the cops on her. The date went amazingly well, and Skipper is an amazing man that I'm so glad I finally asked him out. I read some of your comments, and I don't know if Kayla was trying to set me up with someone else. She never said so or alluded to it. I don't think Kayla has a crush on me or Skipper. We were close friends for decades now, and she never said anything to indicate that. And finally, some of you asked me to post a photo of myself in the dress. I'm not comfortable doing that. I look
Don't do
amazing in
that.
it, but I'm just not comfortable posting my photos of myself all over the internet, especially connected to a story like this, where it would be easy to connect the dots and probably find out my real name and things like that. But you can find the real us if you join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube. Just tap our profile.
Damn.
And there is just a teeny bit left to the story, but I think it's all worked out well.
Yeah. This is
All's
sweet.
well that ends well.
I just don't know why Kayla is
Yeah,
so
Kayla.
hung up on
Kayla's
OP.
freaking jealous. Kayla's a control
what
freak.
what
and she's
like you guys-
jealous.
you same as like she's getting like all this stuff that's happening for her,
Yeah.
and that's great. Why?
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on
I
with
wanted to
Kayla.
see why Kayla is just so hung up on
Bitter.
OP.
I think sometimes, especially when you have friends that you've had for a long time, you kind of give them a little bit more leeway. In this case, it seems like Kayla has always maybe had this kind of controlling tendency, need to be kind of the leader of the group. And this is just one instance where she was trying to, control what Samantha was doing. But there's a little bit left. But thanks to everyone that told Skipper he wasn't an a-hole and cheered him on once they found out that I exist and that I was the drama nexus. And as many of you said, I promise that if this relationship goes well and we end up getting married, damn.
Married?
You're bold, girl. You're bold.
She wants what she wants.
Dude, I guess so. And she's saying it
This
for
is the first
attached
day.
to his post.
Yes, attached to his
so
post.
He's
He's gonna
saying
read
she's
it.
like, yeah, if we get married.
She's had a crush on him
I know,
since
but
day
he
one.
didn't know that. Kayla will be as far from it as humanly possible, and that is the end of that story. I didn't attend my twin brother's wedding. Now my family's threatening legal action.
Blasphemy.
That is maybe a little bit intense. I, 33 male, have a family full of doctors. My parents, 62 both, are doctors. My older twin sisters, 36 female, and their husbands are doctors. My dad's late parents and grandparents are doctors. Wow. His siblings and their partners are doctors. My mom is a doctor, and my twin brother is also a doctor. Dang. That's a lot of doctors. My 3 cousins and their partners are also doctors. Most of the medical schools / hospitals in our country know our family name. I am the only one who is not a doctor. Wow. By the way, this comes from the only not doctor on the OK Storytime subreddit. So, I was never academically inclined as my family. I never liked school, studying, academics, etc. I was the troubled kid most of the time because I hated it there. Due to my family being doctors, I was seen by most of the child psychiatrists in our city. I was given multiple diagnoses, ADHD, ASD, OD, IED, etc., until I was sent to a boarding school at age 12 after I had a severe fight with a classmate and causing him a severe fracture in his face. It's good that your parents are doctors. They can help him. The judge offered 2 options, juvenile facility or boarding school for troubled kids. They chose the latter one. The doctor of that school, bless his heart, unraveled the bare truth that I wasn't cut out to have a medical career and didn't have any problems other than anxiety thanks to my family. What about all the other psychiatrists that gave you all those diagnoses?
This is what pisses me off.
Yeah.
As a future psychiatrist, that a lot of parents will go to doctors when kids are having behavioral issues. And I mean, a lot of doctors kind of have to just diagnose. And it's like, honestly, it's really hard in kids. But I mean, it's so subjective because this is all like, okay, if you take a kid out of like a stressful environment, they might not have anything, but it's like the stressful environment that's making them have behavioral issues. So
he was the first one to listen to what I wanted, and he helped school to put me in programs that focused more on handcrafting jobs. After boarding school, I went into carpentry school and realized I actually like studying while I was making a project for one of my end of term exams. Yeah, you just have to find like your passion. I then studied material engineering, and I currently work in a furniture factory. My relationship with my family is superficial. I don't have anything in common with them other than blood. They have their own lives, and their jobs consume most of their time. They are always at a medical event, working or studying for something. I see them from holidays to holidays, and even at that time, I feel like an outcast because only after 1 hour they start to talk about medical stuff, and I mostly leave the gatherings after 30 to 40 minutes, and no one notices. That would be really hard if you were like, you went to an event and everyone had a common, thing, and that's the only thing they talked about, and you're like, okay. I have accepted that I am not one of them, and thanks to therapy, it doesn't hurt me anymore. Last weekend, my brother got married with his long-term boyfriend. Surprise, surprise, he is also a doctor! And I didn't go. Opie's like, I can't take one more doctor. 1, I have planned a 1-month trip to sea where I just came back to home 48 hours ago. And 2, I honestly didn't want to go to an event where everyone would be my brothers and my family's friends, who are mostly their colleagues, and I would be an outcast in most of the talks. I quietly declined the RSVP and went on my way to Taipei to start my trip a month ago. I got back on Friday morning, and there were multiple calls and messages. I took a burner phone, and I had a professional camera for photography. Turns out they were trying to get a hold of me for the wedding. I have just written I was at a month-long trip, and it wasn't important enough for me.
Ouch.
Oh, I was like, what? Oh, so Opie just texted back, I'm on a month-long trip, and also I don't want to be there.
Yeah. And also your wedding's not important enough. Bye.
Brother said, you shouldn't be surprised to hear that we're opening a defamation case against you for using our surname.
How do you even do that?
Am I the a-hole to be object of a defamation case? And there's an update? Wait, I'm sorry. So they're saying that they're suing OP for having
Their last
name and not being a doctor?
I'm really confused.
This
I don't know
makes
what
no
the legal
sense.
basis of this
I don't think
is.
you can legally sue someone for having your last name. There is an update that hopefully will clear up some of this confusion. Edit. Sorry for the city confusion. I was writing an email that was about Edmonton, Canada. I am currently residing in Burlington. I forgot that this account still existed. First of all, I, 33 male, can proudly say I am a Vermonter now. Last month, I managed to move to Vermont. It was somewhat hard, but I didn't have that much stuff to bring from Hungary, and I am currently residing in Edmonton, Vermont. People are so nice here, and my health insurance is being handled by the company. So yay me. Vermont is great. We had family friends who live there, so I've been like twice.
I would love to go.
2 or 3 times. It's beautiful.
I love the Northeast nature.
Yeah. No, they had like a lake house that they took us to.
love.
Well, actually, no. I think both times we went to a lake house there, and it was just like great.
Please invite me to your lake house.
I want to be invited again. I haven't gone back since I was like 8 or 10 or something.
Any lake house people, invite us.
This means I have accepted the money from my family and changed my surname to one of the most generic surnames, Jones. Wait, what? So he was like,
FA, I'm going to just change my last name.
I guess so, and
Okay.
just took the money? They were like, we're suing you. And he was like, if you pay me, I'll change it.
What? That's so weird. What a bad family.
That family freaking sucks. That's a psychotic thing to do. Yes, I chose the surname Jones, and thanks to the Hungarian embassy, my U.S. passport was also accustomed, and I got my Vermont identity card. So yay. Me and my family, though, we're not family anymore. I mean, they sued you for having
Like
their last
literally,
name.
they're not family anymore.
I am cut off from every branch of the family, and I am sent a cease and desist letter that is signed by all of them. I always thought it would bring me relief, but it didn't. I still kind of grieve what we could have been, but look at it my way. From here and there, I sometimes hear they talk crap about me, but I'm fine with that. I also heard that my brother and his husband moved into the U.S. into San Francisco. My brother is an infectious disease specialist that focuses on STIs, so I assume he found his job relatively easy, and his husband is a plastic surgeon. They are stereotypically conventional for that city. And you know what else is relatively easy? Joining us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, and also TikTok. Just tap our profile. There is a little bit more, but this is crazy. That's a crazy story. Being like, yeah, so all my family's doctors, and I didn't want to be a doctor, so they sued me, and I had to change my last name.
It just makes no sense to me that you would sue someone and basically just because they're not a doctor and don't want to associate with you.
I don't know. Presumably, there's gotta be like other people with that last name in the world, unless they have the rarest last name.
That's
like, are you gonna
just so
sue
petty.
everyone? It's crazy. Like, why are you gonna spend money to forcibly make sure that everyone in your family is a doctor? But there is a little bit left to the story. I also came to terms with my spicy sleepuality. I had flings with guys here and there because I didn't want to associate myself with my brother, and I was in Hungary. Not the best country to be queer, so I mostly dated women, but last month I met with a carpenter, 29 male, at the first day of my job, and we've been dating for 3 weeks. That's so exciting. I think I'm in love with that guy. That's cute, but like, slow down. Last week I told him about my family, and his only comment was they're a little off their rocker. Yeah, a little? Which means they are bat crap crazy. He said, my family also has doctors, but they're not like this, trust me. And 2 days ago, I met with his brother and wife, both 41. They are the nicest people I have ever met. They also have twin boys, 8 male, and they both work as pediatricians. Life is mostly good. My family and I are away from each other for our own good, and I just voted for the first time in U.S. elections at my life. I also came out to myself and to the world fully, and I realized being myself is okay. Thanks for listening to this country gays rant. This is the end of that story. What a wild ride. OP's like, you know what? I'm gay and also I have to change my name. And that was the whole story.
What a beautiful
And I'm a carpenter.
world of discovery.
Yeah.
And he found love.
Yeah.
And his life's better now that his toxic family's out of his life.
Out of the picture. Love that. What a
Wow.
positive story.
Wow.
Besides losing, your whole family.
Yeah. Well,
But,
I'm glad you're
cutting
living
them
your
off.
truth.
You're a carpenter and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. But that is the end of that story.
I am skipping my twin sister's wedding. I told her I'm done with her toxicity.
Get her out of your life forever.
My twin sister and I are both 28 years old, and unfortunately, we never were close after some circumstances in our past that my sister held me responsible for. AKA, I might have been the favorite child, and I have a better relationship with family members than she does. By the way, this comes from you_treat_2911 on the ROK Storytime subreddit. So, there is a lot of jealousy, and we've talked about it in the past, but my sister has a tendency of bringing things up from 12, 15 years ago that my sister can't let go of. Like me becoming a professional ballet dancer and then retiring to become a pharmacist and living in all different kinds of places. My sister quit dancing a long time ago and just graduated high school. Then she decided she wanted to become a store manager, which honestly, she makes great money for that line of work. In our early 20s, my sister lived in Pennsylvania, and I was currently living in San Diego, California, taking care of our elderly mother while I was there because I had a professional ballet career and was in pharmacy school there.
Opie's doing it all.
Kind of a slay.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and it got progressively worse due to the isolation, that I had to move her back to the East Coast with other family members that are older than I am that could take care of her. Near the end of the pandemic, the family member who was watching her, military member, had to go on ship and had to leave for about 6 months. So I offered to move back to the East Coast from California to North Carolina to watch her for those 6 months. I mentioned to my twin sister that I would be moving back to the East Coast and it would be nice to kind of catch up. Pennsylvania to North Carolina is about an 8-hour drive, thinking I could find time and maybe go see her. She was really down for that idea since I haven't seen her in X amount of years before that. But during those 6 months, my time was mostly occupied with watching my mother, which is a full-time job, and then as well as doing a part-time job on the side for extra money since I had student loans that I had to pay off. After those 6 months, I decided that I would stay in North Carolina full-time to be closer to family, as well as my mother as she is getting worse.
Dang. It makes sense why Opie's the favorite. She's doing so much.
Yeah, it really is. Before you know it, I've been in North Carolina for almost 2 years now, and my mother had to be moved down to a nursing home in Georgia due to costs since memory care is insane, roughly $5,000 a month. I stayed due to the fact that I had a really good job at a hospital that helped me pay for my loans as well as my mom's nursing home. During that time, I would try to make attempts to go see my sister, but unfortunately things came up or I didn't have enough time to see her and make a 16-hour round trip worth it. Seems like the sister should be the one making the trip.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
to visit the family.
You were
as well?
caring for the mother full time.
Like she can't come, help out or anything.
Interesting. Fast forward to January 2024 and I get engaged. And my twin sister has been engaged for about 1 year and will be getting married in October 2024. I was out on a birthday celebration with my fiance and I get a random call from my twin sister asking for finance help. She needed roughly $1,000 in order to reserve her venue.
Whoa.
Interesting.
So big. Is she going to pay that back?
I was happy to give it to her if she was able to pay me back. For large amounts of money, I always make family members and friends sign the document that they will pay me back about this amount of time.
Smart.
I've had friends not pay me back and then I'm out the money.
Yeah, I think I sort of like with $1,000, I think that's somewhat fair.
I'm also of the feeling though that when you let somebody borrow money, you have to be prepared that they're not going to pay it back. And if you're not prepared for that, then you shouldn't let
Like if that money is you need it,
then
you're
don't
like,
borrow it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause you need that money. But I do think it's smart in this case to just like make sure
What the plan is. She threw a huge fit that I had to make her sign that paper, but she still signed it anyway, and I gave her the money. Then 2 weeks after giving her the money, I found out that she had spent some of the money that she had saved herself for the venue on her hair, which is roughly about $700 because she is naturally a brunette but dyes her hair blonde. Called her to let her know that I was extremely upset with that because on that day I was with my fiancé and celebrating his birthday. I gave her the $1,000 that I would have spent on him to give to her. He was extremely understanding and said it was okay. So I gave it to her and instead of spending on him.
Which I think goes to your point of like if you needed that money, don't loan it out. Just say like, hey, sorry, I can't.
She proceeded to tell me that she needed to do her hair because her roots were showing. And on top of that, if she didn't do maintenance, it would get 10 times worse. Family always comes before men. I proceeded to tell her that she should have saved up for that or budget it so that she could get both things done without asking me for that large amount of money. In return, we got in a huge fight and did not talk for a couple of weeks. In March 2024, I finally got my last payment from her. Then it becomes June 2024. There's about 4 months before my sister's wedding, and I have yet to meet the fiancé. Never met the man in the 4 years they've been dating, and my fiancé and I decided to have a courthouse wedding at the beginning of the month due to cost and the fact that we can hold a ceremony in a couple of years.
I'm a little bit like, I mean, I guess she got paid back, but I am a little bit surprised that she loaned at the money, even though it seems like cost and like money is something she doesn't have like a lot of right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that she paid it. I didn't expect that. I posted that I had gotten married, and I did call her and text her to let her know that I'm getting married, and I didn't want to steal her thunder without letting her know about my marriage. She proceeded to bombard me with, "Why are you guys getting married? I didn't even know you guys were engaged. Why are you getting married without a ring? You've known this man for how long? My fiancé and I have been together for 4 years before we got engaged, and it's too fast for you to be getting married." That's what the sister said. She showed no support for my husband and I, nor did she say congratulations. I was hurt, but told her everyone moves in life at different paces. Things got a little bit better near the end of the month. We both agree that we'd like to see each other before she gets married in October. We aimed for the July 6th to 7th to do the drive because that was a time where it worked out for everyone. Then, about a week ago, our mom gets worse and is actually going to be moved to hospice care, and the doctors think that she has about a month or two left. I called my sister and I told her that I would have to rearrange times that I could come up to her because of mom, and she was okay with that, but here's the kicker. As we're trying to reschedule time and there's only 4 months left, I try my best to move my schedule around, which I have to do at least 3 to 4 weeks in advance, and I was doing my best, and I was texting her. I said, "Hey, if you want us to come up sometime the end of July, could we possibly meet halfway, or could you move something around in August so that way I could drive up all the way to Pennsylvania to see you?" But she proceeded to tell me no, she will not move anything around because I had plenty of chances to come see her, but I did not.
You're 16 hours round trip away.
Every weekend is already planned from August to October. Then she proceeded to tell me how bad of a sister I am because I cannot come up and see her, and that I had the audacity of asking her to at least meet me halfway since I would only be able to come and see her for less than a day. Well, driving 16 hours is hard, but you know it's easy. Joining us live on YouTube every week at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
I feel like you already aren't that close to her, so it's like maybe just keep that kind of the amount of contact that you have. It's really annoying because you're actively trying to take care of your mom who's like gonna pass away soon, and doesn't seem like your sister is understanding at all.
Also, like, she's working as a pharmacist in a hospital. Clearly, like, scheduling things is hard. Like, I just don't understand why it's up to the sister, like, only the OP to come and see her and not the other way around. Told her I am done with her toxicity and her opinions on my marriage. She's saying that I can't do anything without my husband. I just wanted her to meet him since he has also never met her or her fiancé. I had told her all she does is bring toxicity in my life, and I think for now I don't think we should contact each other again, and that we should maybe in a few years try again. Am I the a-hole for not going to my sister's wedding?
I mean, it's tricky because this is like a thing that you're never going to get back unless you got married again or something. I think it's totally fair if OP doesn't go to the wedding because this is behavior that is truly uncalled for and unacceptable. Especially when you're losing a parent, you're going through a lot, and she's just bringing up this like petty drama. So yeah, I don't think you have to go to this wedding, but it is a hard decision to make.
And that's the end of the story.
My sister tried to steal my wedding dress, so I destroyed her bridesmaid dress.
An eye for an eye and
A dress for a dress. I, 23 female, and my sister, 25 female, are both due to be married soon. Or at least I am. Ooh, foreshadowing. My sister's boyfriend of 3 years told my parents he plans to propose to her soon, and my sister, Jane, has been picking up on hints that he is and has been wanting to be included in marriage conversation and is already planning her wedding. So she hasn't even been proposed to, but she's like, well, I might as well get ahead. Yeah. By the way, this comes from NoTank532 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So my fiance proposed to me 6 months ago. I'm absolutely elated and cannot wait to marry this man. Wedding planning has gone smoothly so far, with Jane being a little bit nosy, but I just assume
but I just assumed she was so excited, so I brushed it off. For some context, my sister Jane has always had some jealousy issues and held some resentment towards me for being the favorite, spoiled youngest child. Growing up, she was put under a lot of pressure by her parents to be perfect, while I could be more carefree and seem to get what I want. I understand where she's coming from, but because of this, she can treat me badly sometimes. I was a bit cautious at first. I was afraid Jane was going to throw a fit or something about me being engaged before her, but she didn't. I dismissed her nosiness as excitement. I mean, with her boyfriend dropping so many hints to her, who wouldn't be a bit nosy about someone else's wedding? I also included her in my bridal party. I made her one of my bridesmaids, so she was over the moon about that, and I thought our sibling relationship was improving. I was wrong, though.
Oh, no.
Alas.
No.
I decided to go wedding dress shopping with my mom and my sister a little over 2 weeks ago. This was super exciting for me. I've been picturing the perfect wedding dress for myself for the longest time now. Shopping was amazing. I felt like a princess the entire time, and both my mom and Jane seemed genuinely supportive the entire time. Well, after many hours of shopping, I found the perfect dress. It made me feel absolutely beautiful, and honestly, it's everything I wanted. It was 100% a yes the first time I tried it on, and honestly fit perfectly in my budget. I noticed Jane was just as in love with the dress as I was. She showered me with dozens of compliments and almost seemed too happy I was buying it. I shrugged it off, though. I was just happy to be supported by my sister. I don't think Jane's behavior was strange until the night after when she asked to talk with me. She said she had talked with her boyfriend, and after doing some thinking, she said that she wanted to re-wear my wedding dress for her wedding. She said it would be more efficient and good for her budget since we're the same size and my wedding dress ticked all of her boxes. I was shocked at this. Maybe I'm selfish or greedy, but the whole point of my wedding dress and experience is it's my wedding dress, uniquely for me. Yeah, I get that people will have the same wedding dress, but I don't want, of all people, my sister to wear the same wedding dress as me. It honestly felt like she was trying to steal the spotlight from me in some way. I told her that she could get a wedding dress in a similar style to mine if she wanted, or even buy the same dress. I wouldn't like this, but whatever. But I wasn't going to let her re-wear my wedding dress because it's mine and it represents my experience. And honestly, I told her if it felt like she was trying to steal my spotlight again. She got very upset at this. She said that since we're sisters, we should be sharing stuff like this. And she said she thought her relationship was improving. I accused her of faking her tears and just trying to steal the spotlight from me again. I said some mean things I regret and called her cheap for not just getting her own wedding dress. And I told her she can't plan for a wedding she's not even sure is happening yet. She repeated some of the stuff she said before and cried a little bit more of crocodile tears. But after I didn't back down, she basically was like, okay, if that's what you want. And I assumed our fight was over. She was a little bit cold to me for the next few days, but sometimes she can be like that, so I paid no mind to it. Well, I was wrong about the fight being over. About 1 week ago, I looked in the storage room at my mom's house where my dress was being kept, and it was gone. Obviously, this made me completely flip my crap. I looked everywhere in the house, top to bottom, and I couldn't find it. My mom and my sister were the only ones who knew where the dress was being kept, so I went to question them both. Both of them said they had no idea where it was. I grilled my sister a bit harder since she has a tendency to lie about stuff like this sometimes, but she genuinely seemed like she didn't know where it was. I was about to have a panic attack over this. I looked for 3 hours by myself. My mom and my fiance were at work, and my sister was out with her boyfriend. I thought I looked everywhere until I took a break to eat lunch. The trash was full, so I took it out, and lo and behold, what's in the dumpster? My wedding dress.
Ooh,
Dang.
Maybe.
Dang. So now, no, your sister's fully in the wrong.
Yeah.
Fully in the wrong.
True, but maybe your sister wouldn't have slam dunked your wedding dress into the dumpster if you weren't slam dunking on her about not being engaged.
No, but okay, but I feel like that
But she-
before it was like, yeah, hey, like we don't have to go that low, but now she went like she dug 6 feet under.
She did, and now I gotta
Yeah.
say that I understand maybe why you're slam dunking on your sister.
Maybe it makes sense why we have this kind of tumultuous relationship.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You guys might both be at fault here.
It had trash, gunk on it, but nothing that couldn't be washed out. So thankfully, it was okay. I am so glad it turned out okay, but I was pissed. Who would put my perfect dream dress in the dumpster with all the trash? Deep down, I knew it, but I didn't want to believe my sister would do that to me. Well, surprisingly, the moment I called my sister, she confessed. She didn't seem to regret it either.
Oh.
She just said if she couldn't wear my dress, I didn't deserve to wear it either.
Wow.
And she said if she could do it again, she would. Jane told me the dress is completely fine, so I can't be that mad. And she said that I'm used to getting what I want all the time, so she was just trying to put me in my place. She said she didn't actually intend to throw away the dress, but she did throw away the dress.
She's like, I didn't
I didn't intend.
I was just freestyling, all right? And it kind of, the moment got
It
to me.
happened.
I put your dress in the dumpster.
It's called improvisation.
You can't even be mad because you got it back.
And was going to take it out of the garbage if I didn't find it. I don't believe her. I do regret my actions after this. I will admit I mostly acted out of rage, and I can be an impulsive person when I'm angry. Right after I hung up the phone with my sister, I grabbed a pair of kitchen scissors, ran up to her room where she was keeping her bridesmaid's dress that she spent $500 on, and took scissors to it. I ripped it with my hands too. I absolutely destroyed her dress until it didn't look like a dress anymore. I went back to my apartment after this and have not spoken to my sister since. My mom is pissed at me. I'd be pissed at you too. She's pissed at my sister too. But she thinks I should have handled the situation more maturely because 2 wrongs don't make a right. She thinks I should have had a proper talk with my sister about boundaries instead of jumping straight to ruining her bridesmaid dress that she loves so much and spent a lot of money on. My fiance is mostly on my side, but thinks it was silly of me to destroy a bridesmaid dress that's supposed to be for my own wedding. By the way, you can join us live every weekday on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Just tap our profile.
Just
3
do
p.m. PST.
Tap it. We could be live right now.
Both my sister and her boyfriend are pissed at me, and my sister spammed my phone with texts, disinvited me from her future wedding. So I guess I lost one of my bridesmaids, and maybe more because my sister is spreading rumors that I'm psycho to the rest of the bridal party. Okay. Are there rumors?
Yeah.
If they're true.
I mean, going straight to you've recovered
Yeah.
your wedding dress
Yeah.
from the dumpster.
You cleaned it. It's fine.
It's relatively okay.
Yeah.
Then you go destroy beyond
Yeah.
any hope of repair
Yeah.
your sister's
Can't do
dress.
it. Can't do anything about it.
You've now escalated the fight.
Yeah. They don't even know my side because I didn't even let them know about the situation because I was embarrassed. I do regret my actions, but I'm very upset with my sister and think I'm a bit justified in what I did.
No.
You mess with my dress and I'll mess with yours.
No.
Am I the a-hole? You're
Yes.
all the a-hole.
You guys both kind of suck.
Yeah, you
And
guys suck.
The problem here isn't even this fight.
Yeah.
This fight is happening from what I'm going to assume is a culmination of things that have happened over an
their whole
entire
childhood.
lifetime.
Yeah, I think they both think that they're the golden child.
Yeah, clearly there's a
Yeah.
dynamic between the two of them where they're
They're
like,
vying for attention.
right, they're trying to
Mhm.
constantly, they're trying to get one up on each other.
Yeah.
Instead of just
exactly.
being like, we're sisters, let's
We're
love each other.
sisters.
They're like,
No.
you're my sister.
You're my
I'm getting
nemesis.
engaged. You're a loser.
Sisters by chance, enemies by
Yeah.
choice. That's what's going on here.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was a good quote.
Um,
That put that one on the quotables.
Yeah, thank you.
Sisters by chance, enemies by choice. This summer,
this summer,
This
come
summer.
to theaters near you.
watch them take turns just dunking on each other.
Dunking, straight dunking.
My fiance cheated on me with my best friend. Our wedding is in 1 week.
Are you sure about that?
Hi, I made a throwaway account because my fiance knows my Reddit account, and I need advice, and I'm kind of panicking, so if things in this post don't make sense, please bear with me. I feel like I'm being gaslit, and I just don't know what to do. Let me give you guys some backstory so you can understand the situation I am in. My best friend, we will call her Mary, and my fiance, we'll call him Kevin. Mary and Kevin have known each other for a while now. Kevin told me he used to like her when they were kids, but it was just a silly childhood crush and nothing came of it. By the way, this comes from user Cheating BF Throwaway on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, in high school, I wound up meeting Mary and we became very close bonded friends. We shared all the same interests, we would hang out all the time, and our relationship has been great until recently. My fiance, Kevin, and I have been together since a year after I met Mary. She introduced us, and we hit it off. I absolutely love my fiance. He meant the world to me. We have been together for 6 years, and we have a place together, and we have been through so much.
That's so great. I'm sure nothing bad's about to
and
happen.
They lived happily ever after.
The end. That's the end of the story.
And I thought the feeling was mutual. About 3 years ago, when COVID came around, I started to notice that Mary has been staying over at my house while I'm out for work. I'd see her car by the time I get home, and she still would be there. This made me feel a little uncomfortable, but I ignored it because they have known each other basically their whole lives. And honestly, they are friends, and it shouldn't be a big deal. Then I started noticing other things. When we would go out to dinner as a group, he would sit next to her instead of me. Or when we would go out, he would stick closely to her and not me.
Oh, dude.
Even when walking, he would keep up with her instead. Just other things that I told him was bothering me, and he told me that I was just being paranoid, and it was nothing, and I, of course, think maybe I am being paranoid, and maybe it's just really nothing.
Am I paranoid, or did you forget who your girlfriend is?
I mean, they're friends, but the fact that he's on, like, attached to the hip to Mary 24/7, and she's there 24/7,
Yeah.
they're like brother-sister.
A little iffy.
Then other things, like them maybe being a little too intimate, or even her cuddling into him on the couch. Things I didn't see before. But he told me she was always like that. And again, maybe I'm just being paranoid. At this point, everything they do is starting to eat away at me. And I feel like I'm going crazy. It makes me feel so guilty for feeling like my boyfriend, at the time, was cheating on me. At some point, I let it go and try and move on. About a month passes by, and Mary starts seeing someone. We will call him Dave. Dave is a really good guy, has a good head on his shoulders, does things by the book, and he's a complete gentleman.
Conspiracy. Dave and OP end up together. I hope so. I hope Dave and OP end up together.
Okay. Mary suggests we all go out to dinner together as a couple. And of course, I agree because I want to meet Dave.
Oh!
We are all out, and I noticed that the behaviors I seen from them stopped. All the weird gestures, all the being close, etc., it stopped. It starts making my stomach churn, and I wind up feeling sick in the middle of the dinner and asked to be excused to take some time outside. Dave asked to join me, and I agreed.
Oh, here comes Dave!
Dave's asking me, am I okay? That I didn't look good since we started eating and whatnot. I just, at the point, felt so lost and confused, and I had thoughts I just couldn't formulate into words, and everything just felt so confusing. I asked him, can he drop Kevin off because I wasn't feeling well? He agreed, and I drive myself home. By that time, it was 8 p.m., I get home to take a bath and head into my room. I turn on some YouTube on my TV, and I fall asleep. I wake up around 12 a.m., and Kevin isn't home yet. I'm confused. I call his phone. He isn't answering, so I'm thinking maybe he went to his friends to drink and maybe got wasted, fell asleep. He does this sometimes after we all go out as a group, so I see nothing wrong with it.
You know who you should try to call instead?
Dave.
I think you should try to call Mary.
No, call Dave.
Mary might know where he
No,
is.
I would call Dave because Dave, well, she probably doesn't have Dave's number, so yeah, the next person would be
Go
Mary.
ahead and call her.
Mary. I go back to sleep. I feel movement in the bed, and it's him. I turn to look at my phone, and it's now 5 a.m. I'm really confused, and I ask him where he was, and he told me he was over at his friend's house, Dom. Let's call him Dom. Dom's house. I smell the booze, so I think that he was over drinking and whatever. I think nothing of it. Fast forward 3 years later to yesterday night.
Whoa!
3-year time skip.
3 years.
So everything's good. I guess everyone, that was like just a one night. Nothing happens with Mary. Time goes by smoothly. Everything's okay. I get a call from Dave. It's been a while since I heard from him, and I ask him what's up. Catching up and whatnot. And he says, hey, remember that night we first met? And I'm like, yeah, I remember. That was so long ago. And he goes, this has been sitting in the back of my mind for a bit, but what did you and Mary do when she went over to check up on you?
No. Oh my God. I wanted OP and Dave because we knew that there was going to be infidelity from the beginning of this story.
Yeah.
For them to also be the way they discover it together at the same moment.
They're like, wait.
They are meant to be.
Stop. It's a trauma bonder. It's a trauma bond.
Yes,
Trauma
whatever.
bond.
I'm here for it.
I felt my whole body stiffen, and I almost start sobbing on the phone. I'll tell Dave I'll call him back. I go to my fiance and I ask him if he remembered what he and Dom did the day we met Dave. He proceeded to tell me that he has no clue what I'm talking about. He never went to Dom's place to hang out. At this point, I feel all the signs start to align.
Wow.
and I'm losing it. But you know what? You won't lose it with us by joining us 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok. 3 p.m. PST, just tap our profile.
Tap it.
There is another relevant update, but let's discuss.
Please get with Dave. I know that it's going to be hard because
I'm scratching my head.
Ah.
This is crazy that this was the one instant and then 3 years later, just 3 years later out of the blue. I want to know why Dave brought this up. How did
he
this come up?
probably had his own suspicions.
But it's 3 years down the line. It's 3 years down the line.
Yeah.
Everything is peachy. Everything's great. Everything's cool.
Well, maybe he's had new suspicions in these 3
something came up,
years,
'cause-
and they literally had identical experiences where it was like they both were kind of like, oh, that's weird, but it's no big deal.
Right.
And then over time, it clearly ate away at Dave, and then all it took was him saying that one thing, and OP started sobbing. So it's like OP also was holding on to it.
But I just want to know how it legit came up, because this didn't just like randomly come up. This had to, something had to come up.
Maybe we'll find out in the update.
We'll find out. I asked Kevin, was he cheating on me with Mary? He says no. I tell him I don't believe him. He tells me I'm crazy and I have no clue what I'm talking about. We argue about it all day. Earlier today, I get a call from Dom, and he confesses to me that my fiance has been cheating on me with Mary, and he knew about it.
Look at that.
Whoa, he just jumped to that.
Would you look at that?
It was like a little argument, and then Dom was like, yeah, no, he was doing it. And he felt bad because he thought our relationship wasn't really serious. Now that we are planning on getting married, he decided to speak on it. Dom, you suck.
I mean, come on, you can't switch up like that. You got to stand on that from the very beginning.
I didn't think you guys were serious. You guys were dating for 3 years.
Dude, if you find out somebody's cheating on somebody, 9 times out of 10,
so bad.
There are like so few situations in which you would not tell that person in a sense that is like, because that's the best move.
Right.
This is not one of those times. You tell that immediately. Oh, he was cheating on you, but you guys aren't that serious, so I didn't tell you.
There's 3 bad guys.
What?
Here. There's 3 bad guys here. Kevin, Mary, and Dom. All bad. All bad.
We love Dave.
He shows me all their text messages and everything from years ago. And honestly, even thinking about it, my heart is breaking. I feel like I've been gaslit for years, and I feel like I'm going crazy. We're getting married in a week from now, and I feel like I've been wasting my time. I don't know what to do. I'm really looking for advice. Anything helps. P.S. I'm not even sure if Dave knows about this, and honestly, I don't know how to tell him. And that's the end.
What?
That is the end of it. There's nothing more. 1, tell Dave. 2, break up, end the relationship. You're not getting married. That's it. You already know you're not getting married.
Yeah,
Call off the engagement, call off the wedding. Done. That's it. That's that advice. Easy.
Yeah.
Marry Dave.
You are not
don't
getting married to Kevin. What do I do? Well, you break off the engagement.
Kevin's like, hey, what did you do at night 3 years ago when we met Dave? You were at Dom's, right? You were really drunk. No, I was never at Dom's. What were you doing?
I don't know.
My stepdaughter didn't care at all when I offered her my wedding dress, so I'm giving it to my daughter-in-law.
That's just how it goes.
Seems reasonable. I, 42 female, got married 24 years ago. I decided that if I had a daughter, I would pass down the dress and accessories on to her. I chose a simple, elegant dress rather than what was fashionable at the time because I wanted something timeless that people could wear for generations to come. I had my son, Mark, now 22 male, a year after, and his father passed away when he was young. Oh my God. I raised Mark as a single mom for several years. I decided that when Mark was married, I would give my dress and accessories to his wife. By the way, this comes from temperature overall 94 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So when I was 33, I met Rob, now 52 male. I fell in love with him and we quickly got married. He became a great father figure to Mark and I was so excited to have a stepdaughter, Molly, now 24 female. My relationship with Molly had a rocky beginning. I've been patient and gentle with her. I've offered to take her shopping or get her nails done. I asked her about her favorite foods and made sure to cook those. She made it clear that she didn't see me as her real mom. You're not my mom.
You're not my mom.
You're not my mom.
You're not my dad.
Years passed, and I never changed the way I treated Molly. My door was always open for her, but she never changed the way she thought about me. She called me a trophy wife to my face. She's got cojones.
She's calling you hot.
That is true.
At least she's calling you attractive.
If I ever threw a charity event, she would remark, wow, you're so generous with dad's money. Why are you so generous?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You gotta love people who always gotta say a little comment about something.
Come on,
Give
her a chance.
Something.
Give her a chance. While she didn't say anything explicitly, I could tell that she looked down on me for not having a college degree. Or maybe you were just stupid. Just kidding.
Yeah, because you don't have your degree.
Wait,
are you?
I'm also stupid.
We're all stupid.
Stupid
Well,
boy.
except for Keon.
Yeah,
Keon's not
he's a
stupid.
smart boy. A couple of years ago, I made a final offering to Molly. I brought her into my closet and showed her the dress and accessories and told her I would love for her to wear them at her wedding. Some alterations would have to be done. I'm 5'9" and a size 4, and Molly is 5'4" and a size 8, but we could make it work. Molly scoffed and said I had archaic values and the dress was trashy and walked out.
So she's not getting the dress.
She doesn't want it.
That's what you've come. She has made it very clear she doesn't want that dress.
But Dakota,
Mm.
would we not be a proper...
What was that sound?
It was like I was a horse.
Would we not be entitled stepmom if we didn't say, oh, you're wearing the dress? You're going to wear it.
I mean,
You're going to like it.
I'd be like, I'd like to see you try to get me to wear that.
And then stepmom says, bet.
Bet. And she's
You
like,
wake up and you're like,
Then the SWAT team comes in.
yeah. Ma'am, you're going to have to wear this dress.
Man,
Anyway.
you're in this dress or you're going to jail for the rest of your life.
That really hurt because she knew what that dress meant to me and she didn't care. After that, I stopped making as much of an effort to build a relationship with her. 2 months ago, Mark proposed to his college sweetheart, Lucy, with whom I have a great relationship. When Lucy mentioned dress shopping, I showed her my dress. Lucy tried it on and it fit like a glove. She fell in love with it, and I told her the dress, the shoes, the accessories were all hers. She was so happy, she literally cried.
And you got the beautiful moment that you wanted, passing your dress
Story over.
down.
That's it.
Amazing. I'm sure no one's going to come back and start being annoying.
It's over.
Yeah, I'm sure it's over now.
I'm not joking. There's no more to the story.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
We're calling it.
Wrong! There's more!
Of course there's more.
So, however, a couple of days ago, Molly reached out to me out of the blue to ask if the dress was still available.
What? Oh, the trashy dress that you hate?
The trashy dress you hate so much.
Cool.
I told her that I had given it to Lucy. She asked if I could get it back from Lucy since I offered it to her first and told her 1, she said she didn't want it. 2, it fits Lucy perfectly. And 3, Lucy is the only one getting married within the foreseeable future. Yeah, so far as we know, the stepdaughter has no prospects of getting married.
I guess not.
Now Molly is saying I'm favoring Lucy over her because she's conforming to traditional standards of femininity, getting married and being thin. That's absolute baloney, but it got me thinking that if the roles were reversed and Lucy was the one asking for the dress after initially turning it down, would I give it to her? Is Molly right that I am favoring Lucy, and am I the a-hole? And we have an update. We are not even halfway through. But Dakota, let's answer the last question first. Is OP the a-hole?
No.
Talk to me. Why?
Yesterday's price is not today's price. I offered you the dress. You literally basically spat in my face and told me that this dress that has a lot of deep sentimental value to me is trashy and archaic.
You know, I honestly, I thought, and I think there's still a little bit of this, I thought that the story was heading in the direction of the stepmom is like going to force her to wear the dress and like go crazy. There's still a little bit of, I feel like there's almost like a little bit of like everyone sucks.
Well, how does she suck? She's
just a little bit.
You know
Further
what?
into detail, John.
You know what? I wouldn't favor the person telling me that my wedding dress is trash either.
Everything kind of pre that just. There was like a hint, a whiff, if you will, of like, oh, I wanted to wear the dress.
But isn't this like the initial plan she had? Because she was like,
initial plan, yes.
I never had a daughter. I had a son. So I figured I'd give the dress or try to give the dress to my son's wife.
I don't think.
Right?
I think she was like, I think she changed the plan to, she thought once she had the stepdaughter, she was like,
right.
Oh, maybe we'll do this.
Right. And when she got remarried, and then now she's, oh my God, I have a stepdaughter.
Amazing.
So I can just give the dress to her. And she is like, no, it sucks and I hate you.
Yeah.
And now she's like, why don't you like me? Give me your dress. It's like, shut up.
It's true. It's true. I could be wrong. It was a whiff, but I could be wrong. I could have smelled wrong.
had a bad whiff.
A bad whiff, ladies and gentlemen. So there's an update. Wow. Thank you, all of you, for your kind words. I wanted to give you an update to respond to general questions and comments. First, I want to say that the fact that most of the comments are not the a-hole is very reassuring. That's our comments too. It makes me feel better about my decision to not give my dress to Molly. I saw some comments suggesting this, so I would like to let you know I already gave the dress to Lucy and it's safe in her apartment now.
Yes.
For now.
Oh, for now.
We don't know what's going to happen.
For now.
Molly has already been bugging Lucy about the dress, but Lucy told me there's no way in heck that she's giving it away. Some of you have also been wondering about Mark and Rob's response. Mark is currently out of town on business, and I have had no communication with him on this matter. I believe that's the
son.
Husband and son.
Mark
and
is
Rob.
the son, and I think Mark is the son and Rob is the husband.
I'm sure he'll be supportive of Lucy, though. I did not bring this up to Rob because while Molly and I have a difficult relationship, I don't want to sow division between her and her father. So yeah, Rob is the husband. However, Rob brought it up last night saying Molly had contacted him on this matter. Rob was like, you aren't going to give it to her? You aren't going to give it to her, are you? When I said no, he told me to promise him I would not give the dress to her.
Yes.
It was very comforting to know that Rob is on my side.
Rob knows his own daughter. Rob's like, please tell me you did not give that to her after what she said to you.
My
Thank
Satan
God.
spawn. Don't give it to
Do
her.
not give her that dress.
Another thing I want to get clear is I do not expect Molly to conform to certain standards. When I referred to traditional standards of femininity, getting married and being thin, I was paraphrasing words that came out of her mouth. I was raised in a traditional household, but I understand that a lot of women, especially young women, do not share my values. Frankly, Lucy doesn't either. She has an engineering degree and openly talks about wanting to prioritize her career over starting a family, at least for the foreseeable future, and I couldn't be happier for her. I do realize that I could have done a better job communicating to Molly that I don't care what she does so long as she is a good person and leaves the world better than she found it.
I mean, that's a pretty enlightened perspective.
Pretty enlightening.
Hey.
You know what else is the most enlightening thing you could ever do in your life?
I have a feeling I do.
Tapping the profile every weekday at 3 p.m. PST to join us on our lives. Just do it. Just do it, guys.
YouTube, Facebook, Twitch,
Everywhere.
TikTok. And if you're watching this in the future, we might be live right now. You should check it out after this.
But let's talk a little bit. I think I was wrong about my... Again, it was a whiff. It was a wrong whiff, okay?
What gave you that idea, John?
I can
I think
admit
I
when
was
I'm
wrong.
It seems that she's fine.
She's clearly, it's the everyone wants what they can't have type scenario, right? It's like she didn't want anything to do with that dress. And now suddenly someone else is getting the dress and she's like, where's that dress? Oh, you're giving it to her? Oh, why? Because you love your son's fiance more than me? The woman who called you trash garbage? It's like, yeah, I do actually, you genius. Look, you figured out how social dynamics work. I like the people who treat me better than you, the person who treats me bad.
Yes.
I'm going to double down on that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lastly, before reading the comments, I feared that I painted Molly in a bad light. I should say that Molly has had a rough life due to the divorce. Between Bob and her biological mother, I have never met her mother. Wow. And I don't want to go into gross detail on the internet about someone's life other than my own, but I will say that her relationship with her mother is not great. I think Molly might be projecting aspects of that relationship onto me.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense and
Insight.
is fair.
Insight.
We're all complicated apes.
We're complicated. It happens. However, your comments have helped me realize that she is in the wrong in this situation. I've also realized that it isn't just on me to build a relationship with her. She has to work at it too, and so far, she has not. Go off, OP. I'm never going to shut her out, but at this point, if she wants to connect with me, she has to be the one making the effort. I really hope the best for her, but she sure as heck isn't getting that dress.
You stand on business.
That's on period.
So I cheated on my fiance at my bachelorette party.
You don't.
You don't. Yeah, don't.
Not I do.
Don't.
You don't.
You that was good. That was good. That was good. Hey, one way to say I objected of marriage. So I don't even know why I'm writing this here. Everyone is going to say it's rage bait and I'll get banned. I just did the worst thing that I could possibly do. And I just want to confess to everyone, but I can't. I know for a fact that the most important relationship of my life will be ruined. Oh my God. By the way, this comes from Throw Away I Am Terrible on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So my fiance, Alex, fake name, male 32, and I, female 28, have been together for 4 years, and we're supposed to get married on the 28th of December, which is coming up.
Oh, you're right.
We had our bachelor/bachelorette parties last weekend because everyone was in town for the holiday. That's why we're having the wedding on the 28th. Everyone will be here anyway for the holiday, so coming to the wedding won't be a big thing. Alex is everything I want in a man. Editors know. At first, she wrote, Jake is everything I want in a man. She edited it once the comments pointed it out. He's kind. He's funny and charming. He's tall and handsome. He's helpful. He's a leader. He's successful at his work with a great future. He's really thoughtful. One time we were shopping and I looked at a butterfly decoration just in passing, and later on I got it for my birthday. Oh,
That's professional at work.
that's
a professional.
professional
at
boyfriend material. That's marriage material right there.
Oh yeah, wife
Hey,
him up.
yo, wife that. Yeah, but
Or
you know,
maybe you
maybe you should. Maybe you specifically, OP, shouldn't. But let's go. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm sorry. Let's see. Let's see what happens. So, he remembered that I liked it and went back and bought it for me and surprised me with it.
Oh.
Our spicy sleep life, it's very satisfying to me. And I think to him as well. He's not perfect, of course, and we have our disagreements like any other couple, but we're great together. I feel safe and loved with him. When we first got together, the subject of our past partners came up. I didn't have a lot of past partners, as all my relationships were long-term. I had 3 boyfriends before Alex. The previous one was Jake, fake name. Jake was gorgeous. He had a very magnetic personality and always dominated whatever room he walked into.
Oh, God.
I felt so lucky when he chose me to be his girlfriend. We had a very intense physical connection that I sort of lost myself in. In every other way, though, Jake was terrible. He cheated on me. He stood me up on multiple occasions.
Ooh.
He forgot important events like my birthday and my best friend's engagement party. And I finally broke up with him. He didn't seem to really care about it, though, which hurts.
Oh.
He just ghosted me when I said enough.
Wow.
Okay. Jake, no good. But
Not
hey,
great.
at least we got the new guy.
Yeah.
The reason I mentioned this is because I told Alex about Jake. Alex is good guy. Jake is bad guy.
Yes.
At first, he didn't connect the dots, but when I described Jake, he asked me if it was Jake last name.
Jake last name?
I said, how do you know? And he told me that Jake had stolen his girlfriend from high school when they were all freshmen in college.
You're joking.
It really hurt Alex as he thought he would marry this girl. Jake later dumped her. And she tried to get back with Alex, but Alex rejected her, telling me that she was disgusting. So basically, Alex dating this girl that he thought he would marry. Jake steals girl, then breaks up with girl. Girl goes back to Alex. Alex is like, nah.
I don't want it. Whew.
Not a poop. I'm not number 2.
Alex was quiet around me for a few days after that, but he came around, thankfully. During my bachelorette party last weekend, one of my bridesmaids, Claire, fake name, invited a bunch of old friend groups to the Airbnb we were renting as a surprise. I thought they had all moved away, but they showed up, and yes, you guessed it, Jake was there.
Dang, bro called it. Bro called it.
Oh, no.
Bro called it. Do we even need to read this story?
Oh,
We already know
man,
what's about to happen.
my heart is already hurting. My heart is already hurting.
OP.
I was pretty drunk, but I can't say I didn't know what I was doing. Jake was still really good looking, and he talked to me that night.
Oh, God.
He only flirted with me and no one else.
I bet.
He was charming,
Professional.
and my inhibitions were down. And we eventually went to a bedroom, and we had spicy sleep.
There it is. Oh, God. Dang, dude.
Jake.
You have to tell your
Jake, OP.
You have
Yeah.
to tell Alex.
You gotta tell
Yeah,
Alex.
you
Oh, dude,
have to.
Alex is gonna be
Bro.
freaking
Tell Jake to
broken.
leave the country and then tell Alex.
Like
broken.
he
Oh,
already, like
2 for
already.
2.
Already, the cheating is going to break his heart, but the fact that it was this guy, again, bro, what did Alex do to you, Jake? What? How did Alex hurt you, my friend? Because this is just unfathomable evilness.
Yeah, dude.
Unfathomable.
Oh man. Oh, I hate this.
Caro says cousin to Jim Veins.
Yeah, you remember Jim Veins?
I don't, but
What? Remember the girl was always going to the gym to hook up with this guy. We named him Jim Veins.
oh, because of all the veins in his many
and
areas.
gymming he's doing. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Mr. Jim Veins.
Forgot about that guy.
Ezekiel says it gets worse, guys. Ah!
Ezekiel, no.
Ezekiel, no.
Chat, no.
This is a combo 14. This is a combo
most
14
definitely.
for frickin' Jake. And OP. OP is number 14, Brittany ICU Lynn. The next morning I was mortified. I told Jake that it meant nothing and he needed to leave and not get in contact with me again. Jake told me that he changed
Don't look like it.
and was a serious person and serious about me.
Yo.
Ugh.
All right, if OP's just looking out for herself and also looking to be as honest as possible, tell Alex he doesn't want anything to do with you, get with Jake. And then Jake's just going to break up with you.
Yeah. Remember?
And he's gonna run his
Yeah.
whole play
He's
back
gonna
on
run his play.
He
This is
has
what he
bro,
does.
the Jake Satan special. He's
Oh,
just got
God.
he's just got it. Like he can just pull it out anytime. No pun intended.
All right. I told him to go and to please just shut up and leave. He seemed sad, but he left. I made sure to make him swear to forget about it all, and he did swear. I told Claire to keep quiet about it and to not tell anyone about Jake. Bad. She was the only one who really knew about our past relationship as she was part of our friend group. She agreed and said it was no big deal and it was just one last fling before marriage. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that that is like a thing. I think she was the only one who saw us go back to the bedroom, but I can't be sure. All I know is that Jake and I were the least drunk people there, and we were all pretty drunk.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, it's been eating at me all the time. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I'm afraid my wedding dress will be too big for me because I have this fear in the pit of my stomach, and I throw up when I think about Jake and what I did, which is all the time. I think about it all the time. Good. Good.
I mean,
I have to confess to someone. So I think a bunch of internet strangers is the easiest way to do it. No, confess to Alex. I know I'm terrible. I know I effed this up. I can't lose Alex. Why didn't I think of him when I was there last Saturday? Why didn't I consider Alex? I'm such an effing idiot. He's the best thing that ever happened to me, and Jake is the worst. Alex has noticed the change in my attitude. I lied to him again and told him that I think I'm coming down with the flu and that he should stay away for a few days. Meanwhile, I'm crying my eyes out in bed, and Alex is being his usual great self and bringing me homemade chicken noodle soup his mom made. I can't tell him, but I can't stand this. Does it go away over time?
that's not the right
I don't know.
question.
Can
to
you
be
live with
asking.
yourself? Yeah, I don't. It is not definitely not the right question. Feel free to demean me. I deserve it. It's not fake. It's not rage bait. I honestly wish it was. I wish this was just a nightmare. FML. And there is an update. Don't look. Don't look. There is an update. There is an update. But before we get into this update,
Yes.
what should OP do? And what do you think OP will do?
I mean, you just have to tell him. Like even in your logic, if you're like, oh well, I don't want to tell him and hurt him and everything else. Look at how your body is physically reacting.
Yeah.
There's
Listen to your body.
yeah, your body is telling you like
Maybe
I am
listening to her
I am-
body is what got her into this situation,
Oh.
actually.
God. But like your body is literally has this like sickness. It's literally, think about it. It's like sitting in your stomach, and it's like you have to like get it out. You have to expel this secret demon from your body, and just tell them and be like, listen, I just need to tell you right now, and you know you can't know what's gonna happen after that or anything, but you just got to tell them. That's.
I feel like living with the lie is worse than living with the consequences of the truth.
Indeed. Well said. Well said.
But we got an update. I don't know. Look at it. So, update.
Yep.
Alex found out, and he is done with me.
I mean, of course.
Of course.
You cannot blame.
Expected.
He got the same play run on him twice.
Dude, I would feel like the biggest chump in the world if I was Alex. Like, it's not his fault at all. But if I was Alex, I would be like, I would feel so cucked.
Yeah.
I would feel so emasculated. Which is totally like Alex shouldn't. It's totally not on Alex. But damn.
Yeah.
When I feel like a piece of shit.
And you know what's gonna happen? Alex is gonna change his name, grow a beard, shave his head, move to Alaska. 10 years later, find a beautiful girl, and then the night before, she's like, "Oh, I just got reached out to someone." He's like, "Oh, who? Jack or Jake? Jake who?
Jake last name."
Oh
Oh
man.
my gosh. What would kill me on the inside is all the sweet things I did with her throughout the relationship, like cooking chicken noodle soup, getting that present that I
Right,
saw. Like that's what would get to me. It's like
He's
I
a
wasted that.
Perfect boyfriend.
bro."
I mean, let's just send OP to the sun. Why not? OP to the sun.
I wanted to update everyone who read my original post, even though it's humiliating and painful. The truth is out. Alex knows, and the consequences have been worse than I could have imagined. I have no one to blame but myself. Thursday evening, Alex did not come home after work. I thought maybe he was staying late, but around 9 p.m., I got a text from him. It was a photo of me and Jake kissing at my bachelorette party.
That's
Oh man.
that's
Also,
a mic
OP chat has voted OP is the bigger a-hole over Jake, 96% to 4%.
drop. Yeah.
No words in that text, just the photo. I panicked and immediately texted Claire asking if she told Alex. She replied that he deserved to know the truth.
Okay.
Wait, is this the same friend that
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, it's a one last fling"?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think OP just said that in her head, and Claire really didn't say it, and she just wanted Claire to be on her side so she could calm her mind.
Low key though, Claire, it's like, yo, where was this energy in the beginning?
Yeah.
Like,
you should have
why the
invited
switch up?
Jake.
Why'd you invite Jake? Why did you?
She wants Alex. Just saw it as Riley hit the conspiracy.
Dude.
Claire wants Alex.
Hey, yo.
Oh my god.
That would be crazy.
Yo, that's some 4D chess.
You know what I want to know? I want to be there at the bachelorette party. Who was pushing them both drinks? Was Claire like, "Here, have another one. Have a shot with me, girl." Da-da-da-da. That would be the telling tale.
Dude, you could actually
You're
be 100%
on to
right.
something.
You could be 100% right, my friend.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And then, no, babe, it's okay. You deserve a one-time fling. It'll be all right.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, I don't think she did it to be malicious. Maybe she was just feeling guilty herself. But at the moment, I was freaking out. I started spamming Alex's phone with calls and texts, begging him to talk to me. He left me unread. Then I logged into social media and saw that Alex had posted that our wedding was canceled because the woman I thought I was marrying turned out to be someone I didn't know.
Who is she?
People started calling and messaging me, asking me what was going on. I didn't know what to say. I panicked and lied, telling them we had a huge argument, but that we were working it out. Meanwhile, Alex was replying to comments under his post saying things like, she knows what she did, and there's nothing left to say.
It's almost even more of a nice knife twist that he's being like, still being classy enough to not like totally put her on blast for exactly what she did. And it's like, bro, he's still being like a gentleman in the end of like not even full. He could just post the photo being like wedding canceled. How hard would that be,
That's
bro?
a freaking thumbnail.
That is freaking bars. But he doesn't even do that.
Ooh.
Classy Alex. Classy Alex. Friday night, Jake showed up at my apartment. He said he was sorry, claimed he didn't know Alex was my fiance, and tried to explain himself.
Whoa, you got invited to a bachelorette party, my dude. Doesn't matter if it's Alex, doesn't matter who it is. It's a bachelorette party.
Exactly. Yeah. He's like, oh, that Alex?
Oh, no. Also, people have social media. Shut the F up.
You know what he said? He said, Alex last name?
He's like, usually when I hook up with people's fiancés, I only do it once. I don't do that. I don't target the same guy twice.
Oh my gosh.
I told him it didn't matter. What we did ruined the best thing in my life, and I wanted Jake gone. I told him to leave and not come back. He tried to linger, saying something about how we could figure this out. But I slammed the door on him. He makes my skin crawl. You should make your own skin crawl, girl.
Low keto.
Low keto. Oh.
Loki do.
Then, on Saturday morning, the hammer dropped.
What? The hammer hasn't dropped already?
No, this is...
What more hammer is there to drop?
Those were the nails. We
What more?
We got a freaking hammer about to drop.
Where?
On Saturday morning, the hammer dropped. Alex's older brother, Mark, showed up with two of Alex's groomsmen. They knocked, came in, and started packing up Alex's things, his clothes, his personal items, even some of his furniture that belonged to him. I tried to talk to them, begging them to tell me where Alex was or how I could reach them or how I could reach him, but they just ignored me or told me they didn't know where he was, which was probably a lie.
I mean,
You know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you even deserve
I mean,
the
you
truth?
would know what a lie was,
Uh-huh.
girl. Hey,
Takes one to know one.
Mark kept repeating that there was nothing to talk about. When they were done, Mark told me that Alex wanted me to keep the engagement ring.
I'm sorry, but this man, that is so wow.
Man, when she goes low, he goes high.
He soars into the heavens.
He soars into the eagle's nest.
But what I have never seen killing them with this is truly murder with kindness.
yeah, this is stabbing Caesar 1,000 times in the back with kindness, like
Just
at two brute. to the
glorious
max.
back shots, man.
Wow.
Glorious back shots, yeah. So when they were done, Mark told me that Alex wanted me to keep the engagement ring. He said Alex didn't want it back because he had no use for it, and selling it wouldn't make up for what had happened. He also told me Alex would be sending a check to cover my share of the canceled wedding costs, that his half of the lease was paid for. I begged Mark to at least put Alex on the phone with me, and that he deserved some kind of closure by yelling at me, and I'd at least be able to apologize where he could hear my voice. He just said Alex has all the closure he needs, and stop contacting him and just leave him alone. And I've done enough.
I mean,
Ooh.
again, because literally once again, she's like, let me just contact him so, he can, get his frustration out. No. That's what you
that's what
want
you
the
want.
closure. He's like, I want to be done. I want to move on and not have to think about you again. And that's only going to make it where he doesn't want it. He would have called you if he wanted that.
Mark used to be so kind to me, like a big brother. He was excited about the wedding, calling himself the future crazy uncle. Now he was cold and distant, talking like I was a stranger. That was when it really hit me. Alex was gone, and my life was gone too. I can't afford to stay in that apartment. Alex paid the rent and utilities while I handled the groceries, cooking, and chores. I don't make enough as a personal trainer to cover everything on my own. and I let my certifications lapse months ago because we planned on me being a traditional stay-at-home wife and mother after the wedding, which is something I really wanted. I've started packing my things and will be moving back in with my parents. I haven't told them the full story yet, but I know the full conversation is coming, and it's going to be excruciating. My friends are avoiding me too. Some have unfollowed me on social media, and Claire hasn't responded to any of the messages since she told Alex. I don't even know how to begin rebuilding my life from this. I honestly think you just move to a new city or something, or like new country.
Yeah, you gotta.
You gotta start from zero.
Yeah, go
Start
personal
from
train in
zero.
Bali.
Yeah, change your name. No, like honestly, that's not a bad idea. I think you need.
Yeah.
I really do think like okay, like as much as this person sucks,
Yeah.
I think it's important. Like you can start anew.
What do we do from here?
What we
What's
do from
happened
here?
has happened.
Yep, you've
Damage control.
royally messed up. But hey, we are all human. Some of us mess up worse than others, but we can start a new life. I think Riley's right. Personal train in Bali. Get some clients remote, over here. US dollar arbitrage in Bali, and then, live in like a little small thing.
Yep.
Personal train over there too.
And then work your way up to be tried or wife for someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, just literally just work on being a better person. It's like, all right, I've already done all of this effed up stuff. I literally can't change that. All I can do is, be a better person. And
Yeah.
that,
Hey,
that's it. That's all you can do.
we're not here to crucify. We're just here to make you better.
Indeed.
And
indeed.
It's here to crucify.
yeah,
We're
chat's
make
here
you
to
better.
crucify, and then we help you get better.
We're here to watch we're on the sidelines.
Yeah,
with their
and then we'll
pitchforks.
take you down off the crucifixion, bury you for 3 days, and then you'll come out new, shiny, and improved.
There we go.
So, I don't even know how to begin rebuilding my life from this. I've lost everything that mattered to me because of one selfish, stupid decision. Alex was my rock, my future, and the best thing that ever happened to me, and I threw it all away for nothing. I betrayed him in the worst way possible, and I'll have to live with that for the rest of my life. He won't even talk to me. It's driving me crazy that I can't at least apologize to him in person. To Michael, real name, I know you'll never see this. I'm sorry.
Wait, she even used his real name.
His real name.
Dude.
I know my apology means nothing, but I'll regret what I did for the rest of my life. You deserved so much better, and I failed you in every way that mattered. I know that when I'm old and gray, even if I find someone else, you'll always be in my heart. No, say that you're going to die alone in this scenario, Say that you'll die alone.
Yeah.
I love you to the moon and back, and I don't think I'll ever be able to love someone else the way I loved you. There will always be some part of me that's always yours.
You.
And if you want some part of us to always be with you, you should join us live on YouTube and Facebook every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. We're probably live right now. Just tap our profile. There's a little bit more to this story.
Yeah.
And another relevant update. But what do you think about this girl, this little Scarlet Witch, dishing, like using this guy's real name on Reddit and like apologizing publicly?
Like you said, it's killing me that she's like, oh, I'm gonna find someone else. She's like, her whole life is in shambles, but she's like, I'm gonna be with someone else, but
Yeah.
I just won't love you the
That
same.
rubbed me the wrong way. Don't talk about this other guy while
Yeah,
you're
moving
apologizing.
on already, huh?
Yeah, moving on already. Come on.
Yeah, I think it's just like pretty clear that she doesn't get it.
Yeah, she doesn't
And,
get it. That's for sure.
Like, I would have accepted like, hey guys, I might, not understand what the best thing to do here is. So could I we're here, we're writing these posts. What do people say? Can I get some advice on what you think would be best? Yet she just continues to choose to, for instance, ask the brother, like, hey, please, like, let me get on the phone with him. Like, let me just, have some closure. And the brother correctly says, you want the closure, not him. She keeps making mistake after mistake, selfishly.
And also this like whole Reddit apology, that's not for him. That's for
yeah.
her.
Yes.
Also, by using his real name, that's not for him. That might be embarrassing for him.
Yeah.
For his real name to be out there in the world.
Come
Nikki
on.
Bordeaux says the whole story has been about her, how she's feeling, how she's losing out, how she's got to move. Yeah, she's she doesn't get it. I think with time, maybe she will. But in this post, you can obviously see that she has not seen it. Not gotten it. But we got a little bit more to this story before we close out. So
and our misery.
now I have to figure out how to pick up the pieces. My life as I knew it is gone. I have no one to blame but myself. Stop messaging me. I'm not reading them anyway. I've lost everything. There's no way you can make me feel worse than I already do. I'm barely hanging on the will to live here. Relevant comments. The more I read, the more I liked her ex. The guy gets his closure by giving her none. That's a straight baller move. Some joke teeth. I totally get why your friends kind of left you. If my best friend cheats on her boyfriend or fiance, I'm going to question what she possibly can do behind my back, because I see being in a relationship as a big commitment, like we are dating to get married. And if she cheats on her boyfriend, what is she going to me then? They are totally right for distancing themselves from you. Another person says, Claire set it up, but OP effed it up. Claire's not to blame. I can't feel any empathy. You consistently made bad choices and only cared about yourself in the moment while you're making them. You had no regard for anyone else or how those choices would fall back on you. They have now, and you've gotten the exact treatment you deserve for doing what you did. I'm glad he found out before the wedding happened. He deserves better than to have to marry a cheater who wasn't thinking about him at all when she did what she did. And then another person says, pieces of poop don't get closure. They get flushed.
Ha 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 ha.
And that is where that story and this episode ends.
Wow.
Wow.
What a story, guys.
Yeah, that was great.
What a story, fellas. It's so rare that we get a story from the POV of like, yo, guys,
The obvious
I'm the one
wrongdoer.
the clear, I did the big F up. This is me, first person POV sharing. It's so often it's about, the other person, So just what a crazy series of events.
Yeah, man. Hopefully OP actually learns from this mistake. I don't
Right.
think
What's the
we've
moral of the
seen her
story?
learning yet, but hopefully she learns. Have your wits about you. Don't don't
Guys.
drink as much, as just like keep your wits. I think, we all make bad decisions when we drink. So try to be better about that. Make sure, I guess, your friends are creating an environment where you're not likely to cheat. Don't invite exes to a bachelorette party. That's a terrible move. And also don't hook up with your exes.
Yep.
Guys.
Especially like
While
don't
you're
hook up
doing
with people
bridal
that
shower.
Your fiance has a vendetta against too.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh.
Yeah, you never. I never thought, even on this show, we would have to give the advice, hey, don't sleep with your ex on your bridal shower. I didn't think
who
that
also
was.
stole your other girl.
I didn't think that was advice we would have to give, but yet here we have
Here we
found
are.
ourselves gentlemen.
Here we are.
Wow.
But if we're not going to do it, who else is?
That's
You
right.
know?
Who else?
Sometimes duty calls.
Sometimes the duty calls and you need to flush it so it can't get no closure.
But let me know if you disagree with anything we've said. Let me know if you think we could have provided a more balanced opinion. Always want to hear from our awesome community.
Talk about it.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And
and
see
see
you
you
tomorrow.
tomorrow.